let you go. See you in a bit.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome for a spin around Spa. We are at sunny Barcelona for a 2-hour solo race this evening, and I actually have a co-commentator we've not met before. So I'm joined here with.
Was that my intro? Hello,
that's
taxi man. Yeah, hi everyone. How you doing? terrible cue. Well, but thank you very much. Welcome to tonight. And I think you may have said Spa, but it's a spin around Spain tonight, isn't it?
Spin around Spain, yes. I do apologise for that. Good pick up on that one. You know, we always get one, don't we?
Yeah, well, mate, it's good. Don't worry. I'm going to have several throughout the 2-hour joyous race tonight.
Yep, so as said, we are at sunny Barcelona. The weather currently is optimum on the track. I think this is the first we've ever seen optimum on this track. So it should be interesting what we're going to see. And currently we are on board with Nick. And I actually forgot to introduce myself there. I'm Corey, aka Cozza. You know, as a lot of people actually know me now by watching our videos.
Hi Cozza, how you doing?
So yeah, Darran is on a trial run with us tonight. If he's interested in joining our team for commentating, so
yeah, it's going to be my first and last commentary for Big Brain. We'll see how things go. If I annoy the bejesus out of you by the end of these 2 hours, you're never like, nope, banned from the Discord. See ya, never again.
No, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure you're probably actually better than me and Matt. So currently we're on with Nick Trapp here on his first hot lap. Let's see how he does.
Ferrari.
Yes, in a lovely Ferrari. He makes a change because I've only ever seen him in the Audi in our event.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting. The Ferrari is nice around this track, and I love that he's just put it in the good old-fashioned Ferrari red, pelting it down towards Repsol. Never get that corner right, I'll be honest with you. I don't know about you. I never get that corner right.
Honestly, I've never actually driven Barcelona that much, to be fair, but
really?
Yeah, I've driven it a few times, but I can't say it's one of my favourites. Like, yeah,
it's a tricky track.
It's very, very tricky in my eyes. There's a lot of corners that you can easily lose time on.
Oh yeah. I think personally, definitely better set up for MR cars. This track for some reason. You'd think that because of the corners, you'd actually be better in the front wheel, but the actual MR engine is set up and how it's balanced does actually suit this track very well.
Yeah. Well, we'll just have to see who does well on here. We do have our other founder for Big Brain racing this evening, M. Redfern. Rocking the Audi, and I'm sure he's rocking the lovely Big Brain livery on there as well. We'll tune into him shortly. But as Nick comes around the last corner of Catalunya, I think I got that right, coming over the line with a 1:45.4 to beat.
Oh, nice. Setting the bar relatively high, but definitely Ty's got to warm up on this
Matt
next
just
lap.
Comes through with a 1:45.1 in the Audi. So currently on a preliminarily pole position, we have got Matt Redfern.
Is that the guy you're watching tonight? Is that who you got your money on tonight?
Well, he is my co-founder, so...
I'll give you that. Fair enough.
You know. No, honestly, there's quite...
Corey's hot tip.
Wait a minute, I just need to sort the PayPal out. There's quite a lot of strong drivers here tonight. We've got a few from EOS with us. We also have another founder with us from Toga Motorsport, Hayden Sweet, in the Ferrari. Currently further down the grid. So we'll just have to wait and see, because plenty of strong drivers out there today. Could be some decent competition.
You know what?
And G. Irwin coming in with a 1:44.7.
It's going to tumble down. Now, alien players can normally get in the 42s, can't they?
I believe so. Yes, it's.
I can never achieve things like that. But
like
42s, 43s. Yeah. But we can see what we can do. It's going to chip down, and we've got half an hour of qualifying to get it down, so it can be done.
Yep, K Rowlands taking the preliminary pole with a 144.2. Just going to stick with Matt here for the time being because he is 0.6 up on his time, so that will bump him to second place in qualifying here. Let's have a look, see who's improving. We have got Catania here. It's alright, I usually pronounce last names just because sometimes they're easier. Coming over the line, taking 4th place. Plenty of fast drivers out there today. I mean, we've got O'Sullivan here in the McLaren, currently 0.2 up on his time. Let's have a look, see if he can get into them 144s.
Doesn't get affected by the understeer as badly as the Ferrari.
Ooh, getting a bit of a wiggle coming through there.
Yeah. Squeaky bum time. A nice wide in, tight out. Get absolute maximum speed down that hill to get to what, just between the 11500, slam down to what, second, first. Take your pick between those two. It's normally first for me, I don't know about you.
Yeah, I normally get into first, and then as soon as I start accelerating out the corner, get into second to control the oversteer. But a lot of people are different, aren't they? So
it is down to style and preference. Lovely feathering through the chicane. Don't know, look at him. I don't know if he is going to beat anything. He's literally bang on his last time.
So that is unfortunate there for O'Sullivan. We still have 4 drivers yet to put time on the board, but things are looking strong here, especially with that 143.8 sat at preliminary pole there. Currently 7/10, you know, split between first and second.
Oh, sir. That Aston Martin, is that the V12 Aston, or is that the V8 he's got there?
The V8, I can double check to get proper thing there, but I believe it will be the V8.
Okie dokies.
Don't usually see the V12 knocking about anymore.
No, that's normally a Monza one, isn't it? That's a Monza beast.
So yes, even the AMR V8 Vantage.
It was one of those cars that everyone loved. I never really got the feel for it. But then the weird thing is I've now got direct drive wheel, and things I had a feel and really loved before feel completely different on that, and I don't like them anymore. So I might end up liking it, you never know.
Yeah. I mean, did you buy the wheel through our affiliate link?
No, I did not know. What was the wheel that you were selling via your affiliate link?
No, we just have an affiliate to Monza Motorsport. Monza Racing, sorry.
Oh, right.
So,
yes, tell us about it.
If anyone is looking to get any sim racing gear out there, then please join our Discord and click through the link. It will help our team out and bring more events like this to your lovely viewing eyes.
Shucks. If I'd known, but I ended up going for the new HP direct drive one that they sold. Not bad. It's not bad, I had to admit.
Is that the Logitech one that you have?
Yes.
Yeah. How is that actually? I've seen some good reviews on that.
It's been mixed reviews. I quite like it. I actually very much like it. But I play in VR. Now, if you play in VR, I highly recommend this wheel for you. If you don't, and you don't play with, say, headphones, you're gonna. The one thing I've noticed is that there's a lot of a little sort of rattly, noisy noise where you get, and there's the wheel gives you some feedback, like haptic feedback, similar to a butt kicker sort of thing. So you're able to feel and hear other things through the wheel, as well as the force feedback as well, which is very cool and very immersive, especially if you're in VR. But if you're not, and it's just you watching that there, and you're just listening it to through speakers, you're going to hear that rattle. So I think it's going to be horses for courses. I very much like it. If you want it for VR, I think it's brilliant. I don't have a butt kick or anything like that. I had a Fanatec CSL Elite beforehand, and I went from that very nice wheel. I went from that to the HP Logitech. My apologies. And yeah, it has been a bit of a game changer. I do like it. Consistency has definitely gone up. Unfortunately, the driver is still the issue, Corey. The driver is still the issue.
Well, that's the main thing. As long as you get your consistency out there, you could be in a 24-hour race and everyone could crash out. You don't know, do you? So
this is it.
Yeah. As I say, a lot of people might disagree with this point, but for me, it's consistency over quality. So as long as you put in half decent, consistent times, it can work out in your favour. Obviously, if you're miles off the pace and still consistent, then you still might lose a fair bit. But No,
I have to admit that the main thing is because it is direct drive, and that sort of looseness that you felt in the wheel meant that you didn't react maybe under braking and situations like that. Basically, when there was an action to be had, there was a sort of floatiness feel to it still, whereas you feel a lot more connected to what's going on at that moment. So when you are breaking down to go in, like today I was playing a bit on LFM, dare I say them, forgive me, and around Imola, and that first corner, I feel so much confidence turning into that set of corners now than I had done in the CSL.
Yeah, I mean, the direct drive is definitely a massive step up. You are feeling a lot more on the road that it's happening rather than what you think you're feeling. Because there's no slippage, there's no disconnection. It's all just right there, right in front of you, and it's happening in real time, basically. So, yeah, it is definitely improvement. I would recommend direct drive to anyone if you've got the money there. Well, that's if you've got the money.
Yes,
it's not a cheap upgrade.
No, it's not. I wish tech was cheaper. I really do. I take it. Have you got a Monster direct drive yourself?
No, I've got a Fanatec CSL DD, the cube one, not the GT version.
Yes.
With the McLaren GT wheel and CSL Elite pedals. So,
they are good.
I'm a Fanatec boy myself, but back to the racing action. That's enough about us.
Sorry.
We've got Hitcham here on track, currently aiming for that pole position in qualifying. Currently 2/10 up on his time, and he does have a split of 0.410. So 4/100. I do hold on. So very, very close time coming on the board here for the Aston and the Porsche. Who have you got your money on for this one? To be fair, I think Kevin might be able to steal it away, but Hitcham here does seem to be giving him a run for his money.
Hitcham. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to be bold enough to make that call. I am going to do the sit on the fence job tonight, only because I am the new guy here and I haven't seen any of these guys in action really before, unless they've unfortunately come across me on track before. If that's the case, apologies in advance. So I'm going to see how it goes. I may pick out a favourite as the action continues and back on that one very, very biasly, but we'll see how it all goes and go from there.
So we do have Hitcham taking pole position here in qualifying with a 1:43.7 on the board.
Kevin's been knocked down. It's a second.
He is back out on track though. Does he have an answer for him? So let's see who else is improving on the board here. We have got Fabio here from EOS. Currently looking to put in a better time. Keeps on fluctuating quite a lot though, so we could be struggling through some of them corners in that Mercedes. Have you ever driven the Mercedes, Darren, or?
You know what, I have. I myself, I'm an MR guy, mid rear guy. I have dabbled a bit with the 911 before, but the car that I have actually found quite relatable of the front rear drive cars has been the Mercedes. I do like it. You do feel fairly balanced in it, and you can really take curves, which is very nice as well. So yeah, no, I do like it, and that big old block it's got underneath that front bonnet, you feel that just chug you along, like especially in places like Monza and Spa. You get up on those straights, it just keeps pulling. I have to admit, it's got brilliant power.
Yeah, jumping on with Kevin here. Currently 3/10 up on his time so far. So coming through the third sector of the track now, heading up to Europe car.
Europe, oh yes, yeah, down to the chicane.
Yeah, which is RAC, I don't believe, RACC.
At the moment, yeah, it seems that they've got them through New Holland. raise the pint, slap on the lederhosen, and around we go.
But it does not look like he improved on that time just enough.
Fortunately not. Look at that though. Look how close. 1:43.815. Just not making it under. Not being able to limbo under that little bamboo cane that Hitcham has. Sorry, it is Hitcham, isn't it? Hitcham has popped out there. How do you pronounce his surname? Yeah, I do want to give it a crack without asking, I've got to be honest with you, because I'm terrible at that, but I will definitely give it a go.
I am also terrible at
I was going to say like Juby. I thought it was like Juby. Joby?
Dubai. It's one of them.
Doobie? I don't know. Yeah, he's rocking it. We love you. But dang damn it, message us with a voice note how to pronounce your surname for the next race.
Yeah, that's only obviously one problem with sim racing, and you get people from all around the world, and it's not like IRL motorsport where you get a full weekend to sit with them, talk to them, and everything of it. So. Oh yeah, no, not the case, unfortunately, and you know, we then got to admit I've got my flaws. Having trying to pronounce some challenging names when I'm quite happy, very much a dyslexic fellow, can be challenging at times, you know. So. And it can be absolutely hilarious for people listening, which is never my intention. But I sometimes I butcher. I once had a guy who just asked me. He asked me to call him Zoltan, no, Super Tan, and he then sent me a clip of me calling his name out when he was doing things throughout the whole season. At the end, and it's like a montage. Hilarious. So, just as Darren was speaking there, Kevin did go and take that preliminary pole position again off of Hitchin. So it looks like we're going to have a nice top-end battle happening in this upcoming race.
Definitely the case. I'm just going to have a little nosy further down, see if there's any other people which are quite close together. I can see 12th, 11th, 12th, 13th round, and 14th, they're all roughly around the same time. They're not much in between sort of 10th to 15th at the moment, so I'm just want to see how that battle goes on. They managed to climb up the ranks. Anyone new that you knew is coming to this race tonight at all, Corey?
Did you say anyone new? Well, to be fair, there is a lot of names I'm not noticing. I mean, we haven't held a solo event for a while, so you know, I'm not going to recognise a lot of the names that are coming far and few between from around the world. But I mean, we've got plenty, as I said, from EOS here. We've got plenty from Big Brain Racing this evening. We've got Toga Motorsport, plenty of others. So yeah. I mean, a lot of people. You always get the split, don't you? You get the aliens, and you get the front pack, mid pack, and then backpack, don't you? So
yeah, this is it.
Prove to be some really interesting racing out there on track, and I'm actually really excited to see what comes of it. Let's just hope we don't have any first sector carnage, like you normally get.
Well, we can but hope for a relatively clean start so it can make it a long, drawn-out race. Oh, sorry, just watching. Is it Chalamini? This is how I get
what position?
Sorry, it's Fabio from EOS at the back here in the McLaren 777 car number. Just seeing how he was getting on at the back. A little bit of a wiggleness to him there. He's not managed to sit down and get himself into steady repetition laps. Little niggles on each corner. You know what I mean when you just can't seem to get a lap sort of settled. When you've got 1 or 2 corners, you can't just get right, and you can't ever feel confident when you're going around. It seems he's having just a moment of settling in.
Yeah, I mean, a lot could be down to the tyre pressures. Obviously, with this track having a lot of fast left-handers, fast right-handers, you're going to end up getting mixed-match tyre pressures. And from my personal experience, I don't think I've ever had a lap that my tyre pressures have been perfect, to be fair, around here. So,
Really?
Yeah, really.
Oh, that's the one thing I can half say I've managed to sort of get right is tyre pressure. Well, actually, it's a lie. Most of the time, I get tyre pressure. It's all right. It's a tricky science. It depends. You jump around different cars quite a lot.
Well, I tend to try to keep to one specific car. Like, I was driving the Audi pretty much religiously for a while, and then swapped to the Aston for a 24-hour race. So I was driving that for a good month before coming up to that race, which then turned out that it was supposed to have rain like for an hour and a half every 40 minutes, and we had 20 minutes of rain over the entire race. And yeah, it's just I tend to just stick to them cars. But to be fair, I'd like to, in a way, go back to the Ferrari. I did a lot of GT3 challenge on iRacing, and I just didn't feel the same on the Ferrari on this game. So, but I'd like to probably give it another go now. I've got a direct drive wheel, because when I did go to it, obviously I had the lovely G29 that a lot of people start out with. So, I've not actually tried it since getting direct drive, so to be fair, I could probably enjoy it.
You may like it. It's a bit of an understeering car, but yeah, it's not bad.
I know it's quite setup heavy. Like, you really need to make sure you set up it right for what you're doing. But if you do get it right, then it can be very rewarding. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, it definitely can be. I've recently converted myself to the NSX from the Ferrari. I'm actually really liking the NSX.
You'll fit in well with the team then if you decide to join Big Brain Racing as a team and team racer. So
we'll see. I'm not. Doesn't mean I'm a good racer. doesn't mean I'm a good racer by any means.
Well, a lot of people do race the NSX in the team, so you'll fit in quite well with them.
Yeah.
I personally just couldn't get on with the NSX. I couldn't get on with it, but each to their own, isn't it? Everyone has the different styles, different feelings. So
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's how I look at it is that the NSX is the only MR car in ACC which can actually take curbs without killing.
Yeah.
Everything else, Audi, sort of okay, but will kill you. Ferrari definitely kill you. McLaren definitely kill you. 911 can sometimes kill you.
Well, I do have to say about McLaren, you can take a lot more curbs than you think you could take. I've had some really good times with that, with the McLaren when I have drove it.
Really?
Yeah. I think it was. I used it on Spa, Monza, and a Brands Hatch. and I actually did. For me, I did well. You know, obviously, like I'm a mid-pack to backpack driver, but you know, I did quite well for me and managed to take quite a few of the curbs. So.
He won the race, ladies and gentlemen. That's what he meant. He's being humble. He's being very humble. That's
I'm
what
really not that good of a driver. Really not that good of a driver. There are a lot of people better than me. But hey, oh wow, that was a nice jump there from Boldo of EOS, jumping from 10th to 4th position there in the Porsche.
Look at that. He was chipping away at the beginning. He's now managed to cut himself a nice low 144. Literally the exact same time as Trappe above him. Very well done. Nick's going to be watching his rear view mirror. He's literally sandwiched in between two 911s or two Porsches at the beginning of this race if it ends up being what it is at the moment.
Well, currently on with William here, who is 3/10 up on his side. Oh, he's just invalidated, unfortunately. But let's jump on with Hayden from Toga Motorsport. He was currently 4/10 up on his time. I think he jumped 2 positions there, maybe 1. So a decent time coming out from him there.
Bear me a second, Corey.
No problem. So, having a look through the leaderboards so far. We are jumping on with Giuseppe here in the Audi, currently in 10th position. He is making good time on his time so far. Ooh, doesn't lose a lot coming out of that corner there, heading through Repsol. Drops nearly a second on his time. Does look like a lot of people are settling in with the times that they are currently doing. We have got Fabio here, currently half a second up on his, the best improvement so far. Heading down the hill, jumping up to just under a second. Will keep on making that time as he is coming down to that hairpin. Keeping it nice and flat as he's coming through, hoping to get on that power nice and early to really push the car around the corner. Coming through Europe car now, heading down to the chicane. Feathering it nice and smooth through there, heading through Catalunya here. Putting the power down. Currently 7/10 up, and unfortunately does not gain any positions there, but is closing the gap between 18th position. Carlo here, currently 4/10 up on his time. Oh, you're back.
I am back. Sorry, do apologise. Is there a way of being able to get all the name being shown in race control apart from in view drivers?
Do you have the application full screen?
No.
That's probably why.
Oh no, you can, it's still showing just K Rowlands when you look at it that way. Interesting. That's alright, we'll do fine, that's alright. Right. What's happened since I've been away? I got distracted, I do apologise.
Not much, to be fair. A lot of people are now settling into the time they're putting in, but Carlo jumping up to 3rd position there through qualifying. We've got 30 seconds remaining on the clock, so a lot of people will now be coming onto their last lap to be able to push. So let's see where people are going to be placing.
Rowlands looks like he's going to be tough to knock off there. Everyone's got to look for at least 200s to half a second to try and do anything to his first place at the moment.
Well, Well, Hitcham could be in with an opportunity, because there's plenty of race to go, so we could be looking at a good fight at the front, to be fair.
This is true. The thing I've just noticed is that Carlo Di Arezzo has jumped up into third since I last looked at this screen. So we've got
that's
a
who was on when he
BMW.
came back.
Yeah, BMW has managed to squeeze himself in between that little Porsche sandwich to mix himself in with that Ferrari. So see how it all goes for that top 5.
It's becoming a sub now. Not just a sandwich.
Hey! You'll find us on our podcast, Funny Comedies, Funny Commentary podcast.
Well, I didn't know we started a podcast.
Oh yeah. When you signed me up tonight, there's a whole load of T's and C's you didn't manage to. No, I'm joking. I own you. No, I'm joking.
That's why I should have read the contract, right?
Yes, you should have done. Me just saying it's a thing to read when you're on the toilet was a ruse. Ha ha ha. But there we go. Qualifying over, done with. And are you surprised with some of the standings that we've got from that qualifying at all, Corey?
I mean, obviously, I don't know a lot of I know Nick, he's been in a lot of our races. I think he's actually part of our league, same as Kevin, but which they are fast. I know they are fast drivers, so. But it seems to be a good grid here. So, starting from top, we have got Kevin Rowlands in first. 1 second, let me just change my screen here. There we go. So we have Kevin Rowlands in first. We have Hitcham. Doobie. Let's go with that one. In second, we do apologise for any butchery of surnames on Big Brain Racing. We do try our best to get them correct, but obviously we don't always get that. So
it's in our T's and C's. You've got to read through it.
So in third position, we have got Carlo D'Orazio. In fourth position, we have got Gabriel Di Carlo. In fifth position, Nick Trapp. In sixth position, Baldo Coratolo. In seventh position, Daniel Spetzlacki. In eighth position, Stuart Pryor. In ninth position, Matt Redfern. 10th position, Ryan O'Sullivan. 11th position, Gruber Irwin. 12th position, Giuseppe Catania. 13th position, Craig Townsend. 14th position, Hayden Sweet. 15th position, William Ferretto. 16th position, Robbie Robstra. 17th position, from across the pond, Stephen Tomasic. I always get his surname wrong, even when I speak to him, so I do apologise, Steve.
Tomasic.
Yeah, Tomasic. Yeah,
very good.
One of them. In 18th position, Andrea Norfolk. 19th position, Fabio Yalamini. 20th position, Rodrigo Reina. And 21st position, Chania Van Helden. So this is why I always get Matt to read the name out, and if butchery happens, I don't get the blame for it.
This is why I kept very quiet during this whole time while I was enjoying not needing to read the names out. But going from the names, based purely on names, and if I had to pick someone I'm going to watch so far through the beginning of this race, I'm going to go with Goober Irwin. Go on, Goober! I'm watching him in his white Porsche. I'm going to cheer that man on. I may change the line inspired throughout the 2 hours. I'm fickle, but for the beginning, I'm going to go with Goober.
Yep, so an exciting cloudy race here at Barcelona. Currently track temperatures are 24 ambient and 31 track. The track is optimum, so we could see some really nice fast racing here. Looks like we do have Craig starting from the pit lane.
Oh dear. Has someone missed the start of the race? Well, they'll have a good 2 hours to catch back up. What car's he in? A Lexus?
Yeah,
okay.
Lexus is the only one on the grid in the Lexus. So it could pay off because, as I said, it is quite a fast track with how long it is. So it could pay off with the strong straight line speed of the Lexus.
Is it quite a fast straight line speed car, isn't it, the Lexus?
Yeah, from what I recall and know from previous research, it is quite strong in the straights, but it does suffer quite a bit through the corners, so we'll just have to wait and see here how he does.
I was going to make a terrible joke about how my exes live in Lexus, but it wasn't ever going to work, so.
Coming around sector 3 now to the last few corners for the start of this race, so we'll start bunching up, getting side by side, ready for start. Are we excited, Darren?
We are definitely excited. Chicane is being taken. One of the Audi's gone crazy wide there. He's going to have to catch himself back up. So doesn't get bounced into the pits he has. That's good. Right. Oh, here's where the mind games start to be played by the two at the front. Who's going to edge it?
Well, we do have assisted starts here at Big Green Racing, unfortunately, so it's not chosen by the pace of the lead car. But let's hope no one is out of position for the race start here as we are about to go green, and away we go.
Oh, that Porsche has had a brilliant start, gets straight in front of the Audi. The Audi's actually getting crowded out. He's up to defend, going down the straight towards turn 1 straight away.
Yeah, the BMW also there, really trying to push through the pack as they are coming through the first corner now. The Aston on the inside, but the BMW really trying to follow around the out.
Oh my days. The Aston Martin of Kevin Rowlands there, just going further and further down the pack. He's now dropped down to 3rd, and I tell you what, Mitt Hitcham is going to be thanking his lucky stars, because while that Aston was trying to hold his position, he held up the rest of the pack, and that Porsche has been given some clean air to get away. How many seconds ahead is he now at this point?
Coming up to 1 second ahead, so as long as he can now keep that lead, and if Kevin keeps on getting held up by Carlo in 2nd place here, it could be a very interesting fight to get back in front.
Indeed. The fact you've got a 1 second gap within the first half of the first lap is mighty impressive already, and it sort of shows the advantage he's been able to take from that sort of situation.
Looks like Kevin is poking his nose on the outside there. Doesn't seem to try and capitalise on anything as they're coming through, though. Carlo keeping Kevin at bay here as they are coming round.
Just trying to see what other fights are going on. I was just looking at, what was it, 7th, 8th and 9th at the moment. I've just seen Nick get past Redfern, and now Redfern's trying to keep the likes of the Ferrari and the McLaren, who are nipping at each other's heels just behind him. But there's a bit of a gap now, but the past couple of corners, honestly, it was a bit tighter, Corey. It was a bit tighter.
Yeah, that start as well, and I'm very thankful to every driver here. We didn't have any carnage on that first lap, so
I know
it's going to be some really good racing coming out this track today. Return to garage and anything happening. Kevin really trying to push on the outside of this BMW though. Carlo just closing the door. Kevin's really trying to find the place to put his car to get in front of him to chase down Hitcham in first position here.
It is all going on in this front 5 at the moment. Oh, look at that corner. It's such a hard corner to get right. You've got to keep your momentum round, but not let the swing of the corner get that back end to swing round too far. That Aston all over the back of the BMW.
Yeah, really pushing to make sure that he gets that position over him to chase down Hitcham, who is currently running away with it with a 1.5 second lead already. So that Porsche is really putting in the work here today.
Oh, he is. He's taking full advantage of the fight behind him. That BMW not really being able to knuckle down and look to catch him back up because he's too busy watching his wing mirrors, and the advances of the Aston Martin by Kevin Rowlands behind him. I'm watching quietly, you know, as fourth place is just he's just keeping an eye on Kevin Baldo. He's just not close enough to make a pounce yet, but staying close enough that if anything does happen, he can take advantage of a situation. So it'd be very interesting to see what happen with those two. I'm guessing Baldo and Caldo are, because they're in the same colours and they're from the EOS, they are team repping tonight.
Yeah, they're really pushing these cars to the limits already. Kevin, he's just really trying to find that space. Like in Carlo is just defending so well to keep the pace that he has got going, because he has caught up to first place a little bit. So Carlo really being able to multitask here and attack and defend at the same time, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
Because the BMW and the Aston are both very stable cars, so we can take the corners quite well, but the understeer can be very, aggressive from the cars. And as we're coming down the straight here, Kevin is still currently 0.3 away. Carlo is going under a second to 0.7, 0.6. So, really exciting battle happening already. Only 5 minutes in, and we've got a front pack battle. Indeed.
Just looking at the rest of the pack, I think there's been a move from William Fedzero on Stephen Tomodzek in the Aston there. He's gone up a place in that BMW. Wants to see if he can chip in to Van Helden in front of him in that Porsche. All at the back here, there is still scraps going on all around this track, and the sort of scrap between 15th down to 20th is very close. No less than a quarter of a second between all of these drivers here, so keeping a little eye on these guys as well for you.
Yeah, so jumping on with William here down the back end of the pack. We'll try to keep on all the action that is happening, but we've got some really close racing throughout the entire field, so if we do miss you, we do apologise. And we have got also Matt Redfern right on the back of the Ferrari, driven by Nick Trapp. Really close battles happening on the track already.
Yeah.
It's not very often that you have such a stable race at the beginning. A lot of accidents normally happen, people get too aggressive, but we've got a very well-rounded pack with us today.
Oh, it definitely is. And I was just watching there as Redford got his back end out just a little bit too much, trying to catch up that Ferrari of Trappe in front of him. Lost a little bit of time, but let's see what he can do if he can catch it back up, going around this little hairpin here. I see that he sort of dived in a bit earlier than what the Ferrari did. I don't know if that made him any more time or any less time. I definitely think the Audi feels a bit more stable through these corners compared to the Ferrari, but that Ferrari just does have some raw power as well.
The Audi does have some better speed over the Ferrari, surprisingly. So on the straighter section of the track, Matt will be able to really close in the gap and pull his fishing rod out on that Ferrari.
Hopefully he can do a little wiggle on the exit through New Holland onto the straight, and it's not helped him close down that gap between the Ferrari, and possibly left them open to a couple of milliseconds shaved off between him and the McLaren, which is not making himself a little dot in his rear view mirror. He's just keeping him aware in his rear view mirror. It's one of those Matt's just going to see him there. It's not going to be bothered by him, but he's just going to be aware of him there, going, I know I can't do anything drastic because I'll be jumped on if I make the wrong move.
Yeah, definitely. This isn't really a track that you want to be diving on, because a lot of the corners, you've got another corner straight after it, so it can be very difficult to really capitalise on a dive. And, a lot of the sections as well can be very tricky to get that initiation on.
Definitely is. Sorry, just watching as Stephen Tomczyk has got himself from 17th past Van Helden who is now in 18th position. So it's William Fettro and Stephen Tomczyk have managed to get up.
Replay here. He does take the inside line through Repsol, manages to get the move, and he does keep it as he's coming round. The Porsche does poke his wheels into him though, but does hold the position there. Coming off the replay shortly, be able to jump back into the live action. So looks like we also have Giuseppe here taking a position over Hayden Sweet. Down the straight, Hayden is also getting blocked in on the inside. Does the Ferrari go for a little bit of a dive there? No, he does not. Keeps it nice and clean. We do have someone off the track there.
Oh dear. Oh no, and that's Ryan O'Sullivan. He's dropping down the pack quite a lot. I don't know if he's picked up quite a bit of damage there. He's managed to get back on track.
Yeah, still plenty of time to go left in this race though, so if he keeps the rest of it nice and consistent and moving forward, he will be able to make up some of them positions.
This is it. The two Ferraris just trying to get a move on each other, but that BMW of Daniel, is it Spetlatsky? Is that how you pronounce it?
Spetslaki, yeah.
Excuse me, Spetslaki. I don't know why I've got such a fog in my throat this evening. Apologise, right. Daniel Spetlatsky. Again, apologies, Daniel, if I've butchered that, but you're doing a fabulous job briefing down the neck of that Ferrari, looking to see if he can dive down the inside. No, he's not going to. He's just going to keep him under threat. And he knows really the corner that he wants to hold on to him and actually really push on is that last and final corner out onto the straight, because those BMWs do have some serious power and they can definitely challenge the Ferrari when it comes to the straight line speed. So it's all going to be how he exits this corner here, and that Ferrari's definitely up behind Sweet. So you've got Robster right up behind Sweet, and
he is catching as well, so he might be looking for a move here on the inside into turn one.
Invitation, the door's been left open. Can he do it? He's got to try. Oh, Sweet, it's not giving up the spot. He's got to try and hug the inside here. Heading up towards Seat. And he's unfortunately just got to give it up. He's on the outside of that corner here, and it could be two positions lost. And oh dear, that's what's happened there.
Does collide with the BMW there.
Nothing the BMW could do there. I feel a bit bad for the BMW because, he sat in his spot. The Ferrari just did not use his wing mirrors there or look up at the indicator on his screen because, it was that or a bit of a hopeless challenge, but it was hopeless, but definitely at that. Hopefully he can get back into it.
It was nice to see that very nice clean racing through the beginning of Sector 1 though, and really just making some exciting racing. I do give kudos aiming to go around the outside, but obviously just didn't quite see the BMW in his mirrors and just caught him as he was trying to get back onto the correct racing line round there.
Yeah, and you can't blame the BMW driver. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you're the guy behind two people fighting for so long, and then all of a sudden someone makes a move and you can just tuck in behind them, and all of a sudden that one person loses two spots instead of one. And it's a thing which can happen all too often, especially in GT3 driving, unfortunately. And that Ferrari suffered it. But hopefully a quick trip to the pits and or hopefully he can carry on, and that won't affect his race too much. Maybe a couple of flat spots, but
it was only a bump and a scrape, weren't it? So there were no heavy contact or anything. So to be fair, I think he'll just be able to just carry on racing and keep going for it. I think probably only about 1 or 2 seconds worth of damage there, if that. A little bit of arch damage, but couldn't see much coming from that, to be fair. So as we are on here with Kevin Rowland still on the attack of that BMW.
yeah, I know.
Hitchin running away with it with a 1.8 second lead, stretching to nearly 2 seconds. So that Porsche just really putting the work in up the front end of the pack.
It really is. I am telling you, Carlos and Kevin are, Carlo and Kevin, they are both going to be sat there sweating so badly because they're both, both trying to push as hard as possible. One attacking, one defending. Both, average times they're still pulling, fast 44s into 45s. That's what's been so far. They've not managed to drop into the lower marks, but then we are looking at probably fuller fuel tanks. Get my teeth back in my mouth, Corey, I tell you. Hopefully we can see some faster times coming up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, it kind of does balance itself out. When you're losing your fuel, you tend to be losing your tyres as well. So, especially with how heavy these two have been attacking and defending, like really closing the door coming into turn 1 here.
God!
That BMW Carlo just really making sure that Kevin just have no opportunity to take that first corner.
Elbows wide to the max there. You can nearly put the oh god, do you remember the chicken tune when we were kids at kids parties? That's that type of elbow. How wide you're sticking your elbows out at that point there. If you're from England and you're anything between 40 to possibly 30s and you remember the chicken song from kids parties, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the other one that springs to mind is Pizza Hut.
Oh god, yeah.
A pizza.
But they're all on a cassette tape, weren't they? They were always on a thing. Anyway, next week on Old Men Reminisce.
You'd have your DJ on the decks with, pre-mix tapes.
Yes, I know. Oh, dearie me.
Back to the action here.
I know. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, but there is a lot going on. But I can't believe this. Hitchin, I tell you, credit to the guys battling behind him. He's only, granted, he got a 1.1, 1.2 second gap within the first half of the first lap. Not massively increased in that time. It's only gone up to just about 2 seconds at this point here. So the fact that he's only gained half a second on second and third, who are currently battling away, is I suppose hopeful for the guys who are currently in second and third. Because if they stop battling and started trying to chase him down, I think progress can be made for sure.
Yeah, definitely. If that BMW start aiming for the offense rather than the defense, I think he could start making some of that time back. We did see it at the beginning when Carlo had that little tiny bit more breathing room, but I suppose with Kevin just showing where he is on that rearview mirror of Carlo's, it's kind of daunting, and you don't really want to push too much offense over defense because you're just going to open the door somewhere where you shouldn't really have it open, and just let Kevin just tumble through. And it looks like Kevin does make the move though, coming up through here. Can he make it stick on the outside of Carlo? Carlo just making it back. Oh, what a attempt there.
He's had to drop back a little bit, and there's a couple of other action going on. You've got Sweet trying to make a move on Fratello. The Ferrari here, down in 16th onto 15th. I thought he was going to make a move there. Nothing could be done. Fratello got again. Those BMWs, they seem to have very wide natural elbows. You can't seem to dart round very easily. They do hold you up, and that Ferrari can't do anything at the moment. It's just still sitting in that sort of half-second window gap, waiting to pounce. Also in 11th and 10th. I've got to try and pronounce it again. Daniel Steplaki. I've killed that again, haven't I, Corey?
Yeah, it sets black here.
It says God bless me.
It's alright, I think I told you.
Sorry, Daniel.
Reading it back myself, I'm like, oops.
But he's looking to try and get past. It's Ferrari versus BMW, then BMW versus Ferrari.
Yeah. Seems to be a common thing happening here.
Recurring theme on tonight's stream, that's for sure.
So currently we do have 4 close battles on track. Obviously we have Kevin trying to aim for that second position of Carlo. We have Pryor trying to chase down Gabriel in 5th position in the Audi. Oh, it does look like
the Ferrari's got him round through Renault. Sorry, he's got the inside line down through Renault, has got down onto Repsol, and he's pushed his way up into 5th.
But it does look like the BMW leaves the door open there for Steve to also come trundling through.
Oh, he could do.
Ooh, looks like he is stuck on the outside as he is coming around there though, but still fighting.
Oh yeah, he sort of closed the door on that Aston Martin there. Aston Martin could do nothing but sort of back out and slip back into 17th position. Otherwise, he would have had his front end taken off him. So he's lived to fight another day, as they say.
Yeah, I mean, you really have to judge if it's actually worth sticking for it or just letting it go and just aiming back for another time, really. But
this
Steve
is it.
Really on the back of this BMW here. Looks like we've got another Aston stuck behind the BMW. Craig
no, it's not.
Right behind him as well.
Yeah, that Lexus has come in, and that little scrap between 16th and 17th has let them lose time. And Townsend's decided, he's going to try and possibly do a lunge out. That was very boisterous. But let's see what he can do. Catch him back up. I'll give him credit. He's managed to catch up to 18th position, starting from the pits at the beginning. So, give him credit where credit is due. Kevin, though, up front, still nipping on the heels of Carlo there.
Yeah, let's jump back on with him. It looks like he was trying to make a move in the same corner, just had to back out last second.
Carlo pushed wide, and Kevin nearly got past him, but because Carlo sort of swung quite violently back on, Kevin backed out to left side. So it's side by side now, going down towards the hairpin.
Does look like he does get the move done now.
Not happy.
Carlo not happy. There, not happy. Either that's a well done or that's a not happy there. So we might have to get an inside scoop after that one.
That is definitely worth a bit of the horses here to see what happened between those two drivers there. Nothing. I didn't see any actual touching or anything like that at all, but I think a lot of mind games, that's for sure.
Yeah, or it could have just been a sentimental flash to say, well done, and you are clear of me, so you can come over, sort of thing.
I give him. You know what? You're probably right with that, because look what's happening with Kevin Rowlands now out released from the trap of 3rd place. He is stretching that gap out between him and that BMW, and wants to chip away at that gap between him and the Porsche ahead of him. Is currently 2.7. Let's see if that decreases.
Yep, so he is pulling that fishing rod out, getting a good mile reel on there to start reeling it all in.
Indeed. What is the worm bait that he's got to capture that with is the question.
I suppose it depends on what Hitchin's favourite food is. So we jump in further down the pack. It looks like the Lexus of Craig Townsend is making a move on Steve here, coming through turn 1. Yep, does make it stick so far. Can he keep it through these next few corners? Steve really nipping on the back bumper there.
And he's done himself an injustice, because he's run himself a little bit further wide, and he could have kept a bit more speed on him and see if you could make an attack down into Repsol here. But look at him, look at that Aston. Did not want to give up that position, wants it back straight away.
Really pushing that Aston to the limits through this track. So he can keep close to that Lexus, but it does seem to be.
Oh,
Loses
no!
it there.
Oh.
Saves it. What a save!
Well done. Well done there, sir. I thought, unfortunately, that would have been a trip to Barrier, as another man on YouTube does say.
So, jumping on with Daniel here, currently chasing down the Ferrari, looking to take 10th position.
He's been nipping away at this Ferrari now for a few laps, and he's got back close enough again. And just behind him, have you seen who's behind Daniel? It's Sullivan. He's managed to get himself back up into 12th position from 15th after his spin out. So he's managed to, you know, at least rub dust off some of that dirt that he picked up from the spin.
Yeah, it does look like he closes the gap quite well there, coming through the first few corners, and that McLaren really making work on this BMW. But will Darran switch to defense over offense here? Because he is currently a sandwich between the McLaren and the Ferrari. So
it's
nipping on the
a
heels
tricky one.
of Daniel.
It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. They've both been a little untidy with the laps so far. Daniel with the first corner, and then McLaren on corner 3. But both of them there really trying to put the hammer down, going up the hill. The McLaren really closing the gap down, and it's who can really get the nail down into the corner down the hill. That McLaren not letting up for a second.
Yeah, chasing through sector 3 now, and just keep an eye on the leaderboards as well. Kevin is now 0.8 seconds away from first position.
I told you, released him from his trap of third position, and he's gone. He's a man possessed. He's caught up with Hitchin. Look at this! Look at that! I can't believe it.
So currently still on with Daniel here in a sandwich between 10th and 12th position. We will join the action at the front of the grid when he gets a little bit closer.
It is happening all over the field at the moment. Things are happening.
I mean, one good thing that I haven't seen yet is no one has been lapped yet, and normally by now you tend to see 1 or 2. So some really good racing out of everyone who has joined us here today. It looks like the McLaren does lose it just a little bit coming through with the sector 1.
Yes. Daniel managing to really hang on to the back of that Ferrari, but has not managed to find a position where he can really, I suppose, really grapple that extra time and make that move to get past him at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Really struggling to find the space to get through.
I thought he was going to do a pounce there down the inside. I thought he was going to do a Verstappen.
Verstappen and Lewis moment.
The sort of when I watched motorsport and learned about motorsport and did motorsport and did sim driving and stuff like that, it was an unwritten rule that if you dived into a corner like that, not only was it unsafe, it made you something that I can't say on streaming because it could get us demonetized. But now it sort of seems to be a thing you just can do, and everyone just goes, yeah, you just send it, and no one cares. It's like this, and then people get stroppy when they send it and they get damaged. It's like, no, but you sent it. I don't get that. I don't know if it's just me in my old age, Corey. I don't know if it's just me in my old age.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you're willing to dive bomb that situation, then it's down to the driver who is currently dive bombing to make that sure that procedure is safe.
For me, me, what I don't like about it, and I've noticed this with F1 and their commentary, is that when a dive bomb happens, because a dive bomb, you go beyond the point of safety, how can I put it, to push into the corner, but they class that as, oh, they went in side by side. It's like, no, he didn't. He dive bombed the living bejesus out of that. That was not side by side by any means at all.
While you were talking there, Matt Redfern did take the position over Nick Trapp here, moving up to 7th.
Come on!
That just happened so quick there. All of a sudden, I had numbers flashing up in yellow. It was like, oh, okay.
Oh, look at that! Go on, Trappy. He's not happy about it though. He wants to get that position back from DeCarlo.
Yeah, but it does look like Kevin is trying to make a move through Vector 1 here as well for first place.
I tell you, Rowlands is on fire tonight. He's a man possessed in that Aston.
Yeah, he definitely wanted to take away the gold medal from this event.
This is definitely the case. I can't. My day. You know what? I went to look at the time of this race and think, well, you know what? It's probably about halfway through. We may start seeing pit. It's not. We've only had half an hour, and it's been that action packed so far, so much. So still an hour and a half of racing to go. Still pit strategies that have got to be factored in. You know, because no one. Let's be fair. Not one car, and especially the case because no one's actually got the Bentley out, but not one car could do this race without needing to get some form of refuel. So I would assume tyre change, refuel for these guys. Are you going to assume most of them are going to do it on sort of halfway marker?
Yeah, usually you can't tend to see pit stops around the 110 to 50-minute mark. A lot of people will try to run it out where a lot of people might go for the undercut. Obviously, both can work in favour. Really, also just depends on your fuel tank and your tyres, because you do really want to be changing your tyres around that mark because they'll be degraded to the point of struggling. But Kevin here making a move on the outside. Looks like Hitcham will try to defend it, but just does not have the speed to keep beside him as they're coming through the first corner.
And that's seems to be the problem with those Porsches. I've heard this. I've not driven it enough to actually notice it myself, but I've heard this. I've heard that the actual top end and sort of guts of it aren't really. It's brilliant through corners, round corners, in sort of quick corner situations, but actually get it onto a fast part of the track, it doesn't hold up to other cars.
I have found that with the Porsche, mainly through the commentating side of it and spectating, but it just doesn't have the guts in the straight line speed, but the cornering is superior.
It is phenomenal through the corners, I have to admit.
So while that battle was also going on, we did have Daniel take 10th position over the Ferrari, so he finally got round it. So will the beast be unleashed? Can he make any progress on 9th position?
Possibly so.
You do also have Ryan O'Sullivan joining the fight again, chasing down 11th position, which is Robbie Robstra here.
Just taken by Daniel, who's got up into 9th. So all to happen here, that sort of 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, it's got to be something happening very soon. They're getting very close to each other. Redfern. Am I correct? That is Red. Is that my route? That is Redfern. It is Redfern. Yeah. I don't know why I went earned. My Wiltshire side came out there, so I do apologise. You are.
You're going to go get the combine orbs.
I have. I've got my bit of corn in my mouth and everything. Getting on board with. Oh, what's happened here? Pryor about to try and take on the ESO driver. After the, don't know if you can see that in 5th.
Yep,
Stuart Pryor and Baldo Coralto Tolo.
Yep, so Pryor looking to find the opening on that Porsche, but might suffer that little bit as they're coming through the corners, because as we just said, the Porsche does have a stronger cornering speed.
Does indeed.
It does look like it does clip the grass there as well, so it could suffer just that tiny bit as he has to be really nipping at the heels of the Porsche here.
I think you can definitely see, and I think you saw when Hitchin managed to get past. When Hitchin, well, unfortunately got passed by Kevin, is that those Porsches, you can see where the understeer just sort of pops through, and where the front end, where the engine, they look, oh dear, side by side, a little bit of contact, and they have a bit of daring there by the Aston Martin of Stewart. I suppose he just wanted to get round, but he just mistimed that. Hopefully not too much damage to either party there, but
I mean, he didn't, get a free position from that, so he's also good spoken there, because he could have just carried back and pushed him away from that line.
this is it. The question is, he has definitely got the run on him onto the straight. It's just dropped from half a second to 0.4, now to 0.3. He could actually look to do something down towards the start corner. No, he's just going to hold that position for the time being. 0.2 of a second behind him.
Yeah, we also do have Daniel here in 10th position, looking to take 9th as he's trying to look for the outside into the first corner.
Ooh.
A little bit of, I think that could have been a little bit of net code in there as well.
Yeah.
It looked like there was a bit of a gap on that contact, so.
Daniel unfortunately had to back out, go over the bumps there just to play it safe. Fair play to him.
Jumping back on with Stuart Pryor though, he is still fighting around the outside on turn 5 here. Don't make it move, did he make it stick? Yes, does get in front of him as coming up now towards turn 9.
Up the hill, towards Cancer. Round. It's a lovely fast corner that you go up to the top of the hill. If it's, I don't know what it's like for most cars on one side driving, you go up to the top of the hill, literally wait to the end of the coping on one side, let off in third, chuck it in, then slam it back on, and you can really ride that corner well. So lots of fun, and that Aston has got round.
It does look like he makes that mistake. We've got a three-way fight here with Di Carlo, Redfern and Trappe. Looks like Matt's currently in a sandwich. Ooh, doesn't have carry a bit too much speed there. It almost goes into the back of Di Carlo here. Does
Indeed.
allow Trappe to get the inside line though, coming around this last corner.
Unfortunately, Carlo's got to. Oh yeah, no. Giuseppe is just, yeah, he's got to back out of that and sit behind. Sorry, Matt's got to back out that and sit behind Nick. Gabrielle off into the distance. Lucky, to be honest with you, because it could have all been different at the beginning of end of that straight otherwise.
Does have a little bit of a jiggle wiggle as they're coming through the first sector here. So it does lose that little bit of time, extending out to 0.7. So unfortunate for Matt, they're losing the position by that one little mistake on the chicane.
Well, it can happen, it's an unforgiving corner because it really punishes you for letting that understeer to kick in. You've got to really keep it feathered to get the maximum speed out of that corner. Let the understeer take seconds away, and that's what happens to you. He's catching back up. Nick is not safe, unfortunately. But this is what I like to see. 3 mid-rear engine cars flying down the hill. Audi, Ferrari, Audi.
Yeah, that looks like Nick is stuck in a Audi sandwich here.
It definitely is stuck in an Audi sandwich. And getting on that gravel is not going to help him. To the brakes, down into second. Drop to first. Feather it through, short shift up into second, there you go. And Matt has just dropped off the pace from him a little bit. Di Carlo has not lost to Ferrari. It's a sort of stalemate with these three at the moment.
Yeah, Daniel looking to make a move again, coming down into the first corner.
Ooh,
looks like the Audi really over defending there.
There has been, oh god, some taps on the inside there. Daniel just wants to get this move done.
Yeah, does have to go that a little bit more wide. McLaren from Rhino Sullivan just having to break that a little bit more to make sure he doesn't make contact.
Oh,
Does look like the BMW have contact with the Audi there, and he does collide with the wall. That is very unfortunate there for Giuseppe.
That is unfortunate for Giuseppe there. I don't have the ability to do a quick replay of that myself. Actually, I might be able to. What we're saying, that's a complete lie. Hold on.
I'm currently on it. So we've got the BMW in the middle here. Let's see what happens. Does just get clipped on the back end there.
Oh, does he?
Yep. So as we were coming round and fighting for it, the clip does happen, and it just sends the Audi unfortunately flying into that wall.
They were pecking away at each other, and the Audi was obviously trying to defend his position ferociously there, but sometimes if you get too ferocious, you can leave your car under threat from if it gets a tap, just a little tap from a certain angle, it can all go wrong. So it's a shame that, but racing is racing. I don't think it's a steward's inquiry situation. From looking at it, it could just be it's a racing situation, but I did see a Porsche or a car go into the pits for the first time, so we've seen the first of our few pits for this race.
I do believe that he did. Oh no, yeah, Rayner at the back there. He is headed into the pits already, but
he is, yeah.
I couldn't see the Porsche really having that big of a fuel tank to go for that. But Trapp really making a move on DiCarlo here. Keeps on just poking him on the inside. They're coming round Repsol now.
He really wants to get past him, doesn't he?
Yeah, looking for the outside. Really nice and close, keep it nice and clean. Both of them is coming through. And we've got Matt just catching up behind as well from this battle of offense and defense. A little bit of a butt kick from the curb there from Nick as they're coming up the hill. All of them really trying to get on that power nice and early. Nick not allowing Matt to get that draft on him as they're coming through the hairpin. Matt just almost kissing the bumper there of Nick. Can Nick keep it nice and smooth through here to keep the position they have made up on DiCarlo here?
Come on, Nick! Keeping it nice and tidy. Wants to make sure he does these chicane as tight as possible to get that maximum output onto the straight here and attack down there. He's within that slipstream, he's tucked up behind him. 0.3 of a second, you know it's going to be neck on neck, neck to neck by the end of that straight. Do you reckon he's going to poke his head out at all?
I mean, it's a bit too far to be poking just yet.
Yeah. I thought he had a better run on it than he did, I have to admit, I do apologise. But he's still got that 0.2 of a second gap, and he really is. Look at that, that was a really good, well, apart from the end of all three of those there around Renault, it was actually a really good corner. Into Repsol, really well done there. Audi did not take that corner well at all. Ferrari caught up right behind him, so tight up behind him here, down in towards Seat. Tight in, push out fast down the hill. Oh, and there's not much that can be done here. I think that's the problem with this track. I generally love this track. I do generally love this track. I love driving it, I love racing it. But I heard an opinion which I was quite flabbergasted about, and I'd love to know what you think, Corey, but I have to admit, they could be right. Is that as much as this is a fun track to drive and race on, to actually be able to overtake and make manoeuvres, it's not actually that easy to do.
I mean, your main two, well, from what I've seen, the main two overtaking points that you do have is obviously the start-finish straight, down into turn 1 and 2, and then as you come up and over the hill, heading down towards the chicane, if you manage to get that hill just right, you can really get a run coming down that straight towards the hairpin, sorry, not the chicane. So,
up round Cancer, down the hill towards La Crisa. Is it La Crisa? I can never pronounce those two correctly, so forgive me again if I'm butchering those. But yes, I know exactly what you mean.
yeah, they're like the two main overtaking points, but I have seen a lot of people being able to actually make the outside line overtake stick as they come round the corner just before Repsol. And Nick just really bites on the ankles here.
Look at that. He really is. And kudos to DiCarlo, because he's really making that Audi work and keeping himself wide. The Ferrari's not been able to do too much so far. He's just been sat in 7th.
Yep, so unfortunately while we was talking, it does look like we have a battle going on a little bit further back here. Does look like Giuseppe loses his position to Gruber Irwin.
Go on, Irwin! My boy! My boy Irwin is doing phenomenally well. He's managed to get himself up into 11th position. I told you he's a dark horse for this race. He's now got himself back up. Oh no!
Ooh,
oh no! Why? I don't know why. I don't know why he needed to do that. The Audi did not need to do that. Unfortunately, Irwin is. So I feel bad for my man now. I'm sorry. It's the curse of the commentator. I do apologise, Gruber.
So
You're doing mighty bloody well, sir.
On board at the replay of Gruber here. Got a back view. Let's see if we can get to the helicam in time. Yep, does look like the Audi goes for the inside line and Gruber doesn't actually see him there. So,
can you share your screen so I can see that?
Can, but I don't know how it will affect the actual screen.
Oh yeah, you know what, don't worry about it.
I mean, I can try and...
No, that's right.
You can have 15 FPS.
Oh, you star, thank you. It's only for the replay, that's all it was for.
Yeah, you can have 15 FPS. I don't want to affect the actual stream.
I won't click watch the stream until there's another replay. I don't want to affect any of your stuff.
It don't matter because I'm streaming it now, so it won't make a difference if you were watching it or not.
Oh yeah, that's good enough. That's up there.
Yeah, it does look like the main stream is perfectly fine, so we haven't got to worry
Is
about
it?
that.
Are you sure? Okay.
There's tiny little hop skips and little, so I think that's just my general internet anyway.
If it needs to be a change, let me know. Right, cool. So,
well,
what is going on?
You'll actually be able to see what I'm actually watching now. I didn't actually think of that. I do apologise.
That's all right. Nick is trying to see if he can do anything into the chicanes. Really behind the Audi this time. All three of these guys. We've actually got a little pack of 4 people we've actually been paying quite a lot to tonight. We've got Nick, we've got Redfern, we've got Daniel, all tucked up with the leader in front of all of them, which is DiCarlo. And look, there's defending, and who's going down the outside? Redfern's gone down the outside. Oh, he's caught him. There was always going to catch him, and thankfully the Ferrari managed to avoid that. So did the BMW. They both had to go off track, but that was a very rash. Very rash decision.
Get an action replay on that one. I think Matt will be the best one. Let's go to bonnet view here. Let's see how this one plays out from Matt's perspective. So we looks to go for the inside line, coming into the first corner, gets pushed out wide a little bit.
I could see him trying to do the Ferrari, but he let off the brakes a couple of those couple of seconds between going into that corner. He didn't keep the brakes on fully and just ended up hitting into the back of him there. So it's a shame. It's a shame.
It does look like Matt gets the short end of the stick there and gets pushed all the way back to 10th position.
It's a shame. He's got to do a lot to catch that all back up, but I have faith. I have faith in him.
Nice hot steamy tyres now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Jumping on with Craig here, I do think while that action was going on, he did move up position to 16th place now, chasing down Irwin, which could be suffering from quite a bit of damage from that collide that he had with the Audi.
Oh, my man Irwin. No! He's under attack from Townsend. Go on, Goober! I've got full faith in you. But the seconds between him and the Lexus are becoming smaller and smaller at this moment in time. And I can't believe what happened to Barretto. I thought he was keeping involved with everything that was going on here, but him and Tomsek have stuck in sort of 18th and 17th for now. It looks like it's going to be their cake for the race for this moment in time.
Just while there's a little bit of lulling, I was watching Craig, just noticed that Kevin now has a 10-second gap over Hitcham. So...
Joking me. Hold on a second. Let's have a look at Mr. Kevin Rowlands. Kevin Rowlands has decided that he's not happy with the standard of driving tonight and decided he's going to show how it's done, and has put a 10-second gap between him and second place. Also taking the fastest lap of the night so far of the 27 laps with a 1:44.695, which is actually a very good lap time, seeing that you're not driving qualifying time, or sorry, qualifying fuel, which means more weight, so more time.
Yeah, I think he did qualify with a 1.3 as well, so it was only really a second off of what he could be optimising that. So
I know, it's madness.
Looks like Craig does take the position over Irwin. I don't know what happened there. I think he must have caught his ignition button, because he did drop back quite a lot there.
He did. What happened to him there?
I don't actually know. Let's see if I can catch it. So
God
yeah,
knows.
I do catch it as they're coming round. Looks like as he comes, he brakes. He brakes and just let them go through. So he,
okay.
He must be suffering from damage and just being an actual kind gentleman
possibly.
there and just letting them through.
Good sportsmanship there. That's why I backed him at the beginning, even though he's now down to 17th from 11th. Go on, go.
You cursed his racing, Darran.
I did. I apologise.
So currently jumping on with Hayden Sweet here. Coming down into the first corner, does look for the inside over the BMW, does take it. Can he make it stick as they're coming up through Renault? Did you say we're Renault now?
Yeah,
it's alright. The track map I've got has only got like 4 corner names on. Oh really? Yeah, I've got Repsol, okay. Europe Car, Rack, Le Cassier, TV3 and Catalunya. That's all I've got.
Oh right. Yeah, I'll show you. I'll give you a website afterwards.
Yeah, please do. Google images and let me know.
This is yeah. You want to go to? I think it's called Race Info. Is the webpage I love to use, and it just has everything racetrack, because I'm a sad man, and I do that type of stuff. So yeah. For anyone else out there as well, if you want any information on racing circuits, racingcircuits.info is the website. That's where I've got my information from tonight.
We are not sponsored.
We are not. But if they want to give us money, you're more than welcome. Thank you. So.
Well, jumping on with Rhino Sullivan here, who's chasing down DeCarlo.
Done a good job. Come back from his 50th position, and he's fought hard through this first hour and managed to get back up into 10th so far, possibly going to make it into 9th.
Yep, I'm just going to keep on Ryan for the time being, but I will just be 2 seconds, Darran.
That's not a problem. Watching Ryan as he's looking on that Audi, and he's also placing himself in a position where that Audi can definitely see him in one of the side mirrors, just to sort of mind games him away, and it is working. As into Renault, he's got the better line and he's caught him on the inside here. Can he do anything towards Repsol? Side by side potentially. Going towards there and it was there. I don't know why the Audi caught him. I don't know if it was... I need to get a replay on that. We've got to get Corey to have a look at that on the replay, but unfortunately, let's have a quick look here. 30 seconds. I'm watching on my side just to see what happened. And I'm on board with the McLaren, and he brakes. Oh, and it was the McLaren there, which unfortunately he braked too late. With that brake too late, he dove into the corner, and the Audi just sort of, it was a bit of both. The Audi turned in on him, and he braked late and dove into the corner, which just punted the Audi as well. So O'Sullivan now into 9th position, and the other gentleman back down several places. There may be something to be said about that later on. I'll let them make those decisions and put any protests forward if needs be.
What did I miss?
You did actually miss. If you want to watch it and put it on replay, it was a while ago. I got past DiCarlo. Is it DiCarlo? I think it was. And the way it was done was a little bit saucy. It was into Repsol, and the Audi did turn in to the McLaren, but also the McLaren braked very late and was locking up going through the apex, so actually pushed wide, and both of them just touched together. But because the McLaren was in the inside, managed to get away with it. But Scott Free and the Audi was the one who took the brunt, pushed down.
I'll have to have a look at that on the replay after. But yeah, thanks for that. I just had to nip to the little boys' room.
That's all right. I sort of did a voice replay of it while watching the replay on my side.
That's the only one unfortunate thing, without, special technology, you can't just jump into everyone's viewing, so... Yeah,
the only way you'd be able to do it is you'd have to be able to do it where you'd either both be able to control a PC. That's basically it. So either one person has it and then the other person can remote control a PC while someone does something, or or you both can control a PC, which is you've got a standalone PC you both connect into and do it that way, which is weird. But
yeah, but jumping onto the action for 5th place here, we've got Daniel chasing down that Ferrari of Nick Trapp. So. And we are starting to see pit stops coming through. I mean, we did have Matt Redfern and DiCarlo head into the pits.
They really?
Yeah.
Oh, they have. Hence why they're so far down. I was about to say DiCarlo's now down in 18th. So, yeah, that would make sense.
Ryan O'Sullivan heading for the pits as well. We have got... Oh, we've got someone. We've got Giuseppe just sat on the side of the track here. Could possibly be a technical issue there. What did I just see there? So, watching here, we are on board with Curatolo. Oh, just clips the Ferrari, but does brake to make sure that the Ferrari can go back in front. So, nice sportsmanship there, coming out of Curatello from EOS.
Indeed. Watching fight between 5th and 6th at the same time, just so you know it's still going on.
Yeah, Craig Townsend also took a position there, sorry to interrupt you, from Norfolk, heading into 10th position, looking for them single digit places now.
Look at that. Give Townsend some credit tonight. It has started from the back of the pack and has actually made it up into 10th position. And when I say start at the back of the pack, unfortunately he missed the actual call-in, the setup, so he started from the pit, so would have had at least a 30 plus gap on him and anyone else before him. So good on him for 10th position for now. Still got to get pits and stuff done. Right. How's our man Daniel doing? And that's the name which has been said again and again tonight, is Daniel, and I'm not going to say the surname because I can't pronounce it correctly.
Well, he has been putting in the work this evening.
Really has.
You know, he's been keeping really on pace with a lot of cars and just putting himself in the fights and really just making it work for him tonight.
He's not been shy, has he? He's kept in there and he's done well. He's done well. He's gone into every scrap and give him credit where credit's due. He's right behind Nick, and Nick's not been someone who's been shy this race either. So, you know, I have to admit I've driven the Ferrari a lot, and I know the Ferrari is nice around this track, but I just keep watching the Ferrari get slowly. These BMWs are slowly catching all the other cars. That's what I've seen. I've seen the BMWs do it to Porsches and Ferraris tonight around this track. They seem to be out for them.
It looks like the Germans are really coming after them Italians this evening.
Yes, indeed.
You know, the German sausages isn't good enough for them anymore. They want that pizza as well. So looks like we do have a drive-through coming through here for Pryor. That'll most likely be track limits, unfortunately. Cutting one too many corners there.
Definitely be done. It's in fourth position now, but I'm going to assume he's in fourth position down to pits more than anything else.
Yeah, but
he's got to watch him here.
Drive through and a pit as well. So
yeah, I know.
Looks like Trap does go for the pit now. So Daniel will move up position there. We have got Kevin, our leader, previous leader in the pits, heading out now. Jumping on with Norfolk here, chasing down Craig Townsend. Are either of these heading for a pit or are they continuing on? Looks like continuing on. So Andrea Norfolk will be chasing Craig Townsend down in that Lexus.
I'm going to assume so. I don't know what the Lexus is like, fuel tank's like on that car. I know it's a fairly decent car from what I've been told. Especially in the early days of ACC, it was one of those meta cars.
I know you get a meta in every game, but also it's not just the car, it's down to the driver. So, you know, you could be driving a meta car, but if you're not skilled enough to do anything with that meta, then you're going to start falling down the path.
This is it.
So currently on board with Matt Redfern as well here. I think my gap times are messed up, or has he just
I don't know, but you're right. I'm getting the same messed up lap times as what you are, but he's held it off.
Just unlapped himself.
Possibly so. I didn't think there was any lap in positions here, so I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, he's just overtaken Carlo, who's currently our first place position here. So that's interesting. Looks like Matt getting on them fresh tyres is really letting him put the power down. Kevin looks like he is making his way back up the grid also. Currently back up in fourth. Looks like we do have 3 pits there.
Hitchin is in pits at the moment, so Hitcham, sorry, is in the pits at the moment, so he's getting back out, and he's unfortunately, I think he's going to be down to 5th or 6th position by the time he gets out of there.
Yeah, because we had a nice, quite close grid here. Pit strategy is really coming into play, so the ones that are stopping out a little bit later could either have an advantage or a severe disadvantage out here on the track today.
So, trying to see how everything is at the moment. We've got a half and half track at the moment, where we've got half of our guys who, well, actually it's going to be about 2/3 have pitted by this time. Yeah, and it's really...
Sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
No, it's alright. It's really confusing, the layout of the track. I'm getting people which were all over the place in the front and the people at the back.
So currently on board with Ryan O'Sullivan here, looking to make a move. Looks like he does stick it down the inside, but there is also someone coming out the pits. Oh, could he get boxed in here as he's coming through the first corner? No, he does make the move stick and gets ahead of Galamini here from EOS. The McLaren versus the McLaren battle, it would say. I think he is come out right.
Oh, God, he's trying to get around Barrel, around the outside. Very hard thing to do, but possibly down in towards Siak. Can he do it? He is. He's pushed it. He's gone deep into it, but that means he can try and keep his elbows wide, and he has done. He's held his spot and got past the Porsche there.
Yeah, looks like we do also have a stop and go 30 coming out for Steve down in 17th position. Naughty boy just been in the pit lane there.
Oh dear, easily done, unfortunately. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with particular people. Like at the moment, we've got a few people which are really high up, but they've not pitted yet. We've got Sweet, we've got Townsend, we've got Norfolk, we've got Pareto. All of these guys have not done a pit yet, and they are in 4th to 7th.
Yeah, you do also have our current leader Carlo and Daniel, who also haven't pitted either. So where will they be coming out on the grid?
No, Carlo's not pitted either, has he? You're right.
Then BMWs must just have a nice heavy tank on them to be able to last as long.
I was about to say, I have to admit, I don't know their fuel tank capabilities, but not doing too bad. Kevin, not fussed by any of that. I think he's done his pit, hasn't he? And he's still come out. He came out in 4th, and he's back up to 3rd already. So he knows whatever happens, once those guys will dive in, he's going to get back up into that 1st position spot.
Yeah, definitely. With only a 10-second gap there, Carlo is going to obviously have the biggest advantage. As long as he only needs the tyres and fuel, he could potentially still be coming out in 1st place here.
This is the thing.
Because
who's going to?
Is a 40-second gap.
Oh, is it got? Hold on. This was my question. Is it really going to be? Is it really going to be? Well, okay, Hitchin is back. He's back in the pits again. Has he not already been in once? I thought Hitchin had already been in once.
Yeah, Hitchin's already been in.
Oh, he's popped back into the pits again.
Unless he didn't put enough fuel into take him to the end of the race.
No. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if he did tyres but he didn't do fuel? I think that could be the case.
I can hold my hand up and say that I have accidentally done that before.
I've done that many times before.
You know, where you concentrate on and make sure
yes.
you get your pressures correct and everything like that, and then forget to check how many litres of fuel you're putting in.
This is it.
That's why on a pit strategy now I'll always put maximum amount of fuel on there just to make sure I... then, you know, worst case, you know, I'll just be riding with full fuel rather than the fuel that I require. So...
Deary me's right. Well, that has changed things a lot.
But we do know Hitchin is a very strong driver, so I can't see him lasting down in 16th position for very long, to be fair. Obviously, he won't really be able to make the time back up too much, but we'll just have to wait and see. It
depends on how long he's been in the pits for. I'm not going to lie, he's been in there an awful long time. Yeah. To a point that I'm wondering what on earth is happening. Is there something that he's unfortunately had to deal with out of game that he's had to pull in at a deal? He maybe had to do a sort of DNF at this point. He may join back in, but it won't be to be able to compete. Lord knows, it's a shame.
Yeah, definitely.
It was a contender. I've got a terrible feeling that once all these others hit, Kevin Rowlands is going to be out front by literally a country mile.
I mean, he is catching the pack. Currently on board with Robbie here, taking the position moving up into 11th there. Pryor hot on his tail, but yeah, I mean, I do agree with you. He is still closing the gap between them two at the front. You know, there's a 30-second gap between him and the leader, and then only a 6-second gap between him and second place. So, at the very least, he is definitely going to have second place, and I think Carlo will end up out right behind him, possibly only a few seconds.
This is it. There is a still, like you say, a good gap between him and first and second. So what happens from that will be decided. I suppose this is really the clincher for Kevin, is if he can try and get the hammer down and get that gap between him and second place down to as small as possible. Second place has dived in. Daniel has dived in.
Yep, so it looks like Kevin has moved up back into that second place now. But can Hayden... I don't think actually Hayden's pitted yet. Or Craig, haven't they?
Hayden has not pitted, neither has Craig. No, neither of those two have gone in yet. I don't think Andrea Norfo has gone either. So Hayden, Hayden, Townsend and Andrea need to all go in at some point. Where that will leave them afterwards, Lord knows.
So still on board with Pryor here, hot on the tails of Robbie in the Ferrari. Pryor in the Aston, looking for that inside coming into the hairpin. Does back out of it though. Hopefully aiming for the inside coming through these corners. Doesn't quite make it enough though. He's keeping hot on the heels of him and waiting for either a mistake or that door just to be left open for him to come cruising through.
He really is. He really is. He's biding his time. I give him his credit.
Looks like we do have Carlo in the pits as well now. So the remaining front pack looks like the pits are starting to come through. Matt Redfern also looking to make a move here on Daniel.
Redford down onto Daniel, is it? Still watching to see if Stuart Pryor can do anything to Rob Strutt. Nothing done as of yet. Still stuck behind him. Still 0.2 of a second, just to let you know. And then Kevin Rowlands has gone up into first position. And the gap between him and the rest of the pack is now increasing. The nearest person to him is in second place, and he's currently in the pits. There's a 20-second gap opening. I think you're going to be right. I think it's going to be an absolutely huge gap between him. It is him, 22 seconds between him and... Oh my days, it's Sweet. Sweet's managed to get back up. Hayden has actually got back up into second position.
He does
of all of this.
Pit,
oh, does he not pitted yet?
No, I do believe he still needs to pit. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I think... because Andrew's in now, so it's still just Hayden and Craig left to pit. A pit stop will need to come in because I'm very doubtful on the fuel. I mean, it'd be very risky, but if the tyres feel well, you could always splash and dash it, but I doubt that could go to the last 49 minutes here.
You're right. You could, but it'd be pointless because even if you were alien speed, they would just go. So it wouldn't matter. You'd lose too much time just because they'd gone. It'd be worth getting them placed at this point.
Exactly. I mean, I have known someone in the past to try it, but I think towards the last 20 minutes of the race, one of the tyres actually punctured. So.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, and that's RTG, and by that point, it was last position.
Yeah.
So.
That's what's happening. Stuart just still sitting on the rear wing of that Ferrari, and I'll tell you what, the one thing I wish I could tell him in his ear is that he's trying to keep up with that Ferrari and wants to get past him, but the one thing he's doing is the Ferrari's using the full track, and I don't know if it's a thing that Stuart's trying to do to put the pressure on the Ferrari, but he's not actually using the full track himself, and with that is potentially losing time and the ability to just actually overtake that Ferrari under his own steam.
Yeah, does look like he can make time up there coming through them little S's just before the hill. But then he just seems to start struggling towards the end. And it looks like we do have Hayden and Craig in the pits, and just takes it on the inside of the line, but does not get the power down early enough to poke his nose in towards that corner there.
Into the hairpin. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But I'm gonna complete brain fart there.
I know, but I'm gonna say he heard us. The commentary. He was like, "No, hold my beer, boys. I'm gonna show you wrong." So see what he can do. Stuart Pryor not letting Rob Shah out of his sights for the time being. What was it you said? Was that Townsend and
Hayden went into the pits? So Hayden has dropped down to 8th position, and Craig is currently dropped down to 11th. So plenty of work left to come out here.
Yeah, he's done. I'll give him credit where credit's due. He's managed to get himself back up into 11th after the pits as well. So let's see what can happen. Hayden Sweet, he's going to be happy as well in 8th position. I think he can get himself back up further than this, to be honest with you. But he has got a litany of people here who are not going to give him an easy ride to that. Where has the other? I was just looking both. I'm looking for all the ESO drivers. There was another with a Porsche. I can't see him on the track anymore. Where's he gone to?
Pryor does make the move as coming through the S's, heading up the hill, and he does make the move stick. So does Robbie have an answer for that? Can he keep on Stewart's pace here? As now he's on the lookout for Hayden Sweet.
Yeah, he's got a good 10-second gap to chip into, but that's what he can do. And he's not phased about that Ferrari at all. He's gone right, got past him.
The 3-second gap between Pryor and Sweet.
Oh, I do apologise. It was a 10-second gap between Sweet and the Porsche in front of him. My eyesight is failing me, ladies and gentlemen. Again.
It's alright. When I first started with race control, I made that mistake quite a few times.
But let's see what, he's not far away. Rob Starr is not exactly letting Stewart dance off into the distance, is he? That Ferrari's trying to keep that gap there. It's still half a second. It's slowly increasing, but it's not increasing by a massive margin.
No, but Stewart is just pulled his fishing rod out on Hayden, already dropping it to a 1.7 gap between them both now. So Robbie is going to have an opportunity here when Stewart goes on the attack on Hayden.
You got to wonder at these points, right? You got to wonder. He's just gone past a Ferrari. Is there something he can notice that the line for a Ferrari for a particular corner is as so, and I can get a faster line because I've got a front-wheel drive car? I know I can take that line faster. So he's already lining up that Ferrari of Hayden in front of him to go, yeah, I know on this corner I'll be able to take him on that point. It does make. That's the thing I do love about this game. It's got that individual car factor that there's a vulnerability or a quirk to this car around this part of the track compared to this car, and it can be a vulnerability as well as an asset to a degree.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with that engine sat right above the wheels of the Aston, it seems to be, as they're coming up the hill through the corners, he can really just stick it in there and get a better line than the Ferrari.
Yeah, you can see it there just through the chicane. Look how much of a clean line he had through the chicane here. He's going to have that now onto the Ferrari. Hayden not going to be able to do too much now down this start-finish straight. Aston Martin side by side here.
Yeah, wheel to wheel now. They're coming into the first corner. But obviously, Stewart does have the speed advantage coming through here. Hayden keeping it nice and wide, making sure no collisions happen. But then Robbie does go up behind him. Just noticing there as well that a drive-through has come up for Craig. So that will be track limits, I do believe.
That's going to be track limits, which of course that. So he's going to be kicking himself He's done so well to get himself up into 11th position, and he's going to now lose that to a drive-through.
I think with the gaps behind him, he could possibly be looking to drop down to about 14th position. So he will lose quite a lot.
Could do. Yeah, he will lose a substantial amount. And only 40, you know, I know it's a 2-hour race, and I know I say only 40 minutes left, but that isn't much time when you've got everyone spread out as they are now, this part of the race. So good luck to him. I don't want to write anyone off, but it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, I have also noticed Carlo from EOS has taken the fastest lap off of Kevin Rowland.
Has he really?
Yep, with the
Oh, he has. Look at that. No one else has dipped back into the 43s there. Have you noticed that? I don't know if we'll see that to possibly the last half an hour of this race when fuel tanks start getting to a level where it's not that much weight.
But then you do have to factor in the tyre wear that they are having on this fast track at Barcelona. With you know, the fast corners that it does have, you can suffer possibly a lot of graining coming from them tyres.
Oh, definitely. It's a track very, very easy to overdrive on, and with that, like you say, grain and wear your tyres out. So you've really got, it's a fun track, but again, you've got to hold back at the same time to make sure you can be faster in the long run. Otherwise, you're just going to lose stuff.
Yeah, 100%. But Craig is serving his drive-through as well. I'd say it's a relative pit lane here, so he has dropped down to that 14th position, unfortunately. So a lot of work to come out here.
Yeah, 5 seconds between him and the guy in front, I think. Was that?
17 seconds. He's now got to make up on 13th position. So it does look like he is knocking it. Does look like he is knocking it off quite a bit already, though. So we could possibly see some decent racing coming out from Craig here. Still currently on board with Robbie and Hayden, as this is our closest battle currently on track. We do have Ryan on the heels of Matt Redfern as well. Let's have a look at that one actually. The McLaren versus the Audi.
Doing his best to keep himself as tidy as possible. But that McLaren, I don't know what it is. He's got that Renault corner down, hasn't he? Really has, catching back up to him down towards Repsol.
Do apologise.
Wider in.
Him back on with Robbie and Hayden here. Robbie does get the overtake done into turn 1 of over Hayden. So jumping back on the action with Ryan and Matt. And
not much.
You may continue.
Sorry, I was going to say not much has changed. The Audi is still in 5th position. And Redfern has not managed to give up that 5th to the McLaren of O'Sullivan as of yet. Going down the hill towards the hairpin, not close enough to make a dive, not even close enough to really do a fakie or anything. So it's a sort of sit in position for the time being. I don't know if anything can be done. Yeah, no, round these next few corners, it's a point where you just want to keep that gap the same amount of time or closer. He does seem to have a better line through the chicane than the Audi. He's definitely closed down that time between him here. So Sullivan is going to see what he can do on this straight to the Audi. Pushes wide, but it's still 0.4 of a gap, 3. I don't think it's going to be enough to do anything by the end of the start-finish straight, Rory.
No, he's not going to be really able to get into there. Matt Flashing looks like he has come up on a back marker, so it will slow him down that little bit of coming up around here through Renault.
This is it.
I remembered that one, you see.
There we go.
There we go.
Gold start.
Out the way. Let's
back marker's moved out the way. Nicely done by the back marker there, but still, Matt's going to be like, it wasn't enough, it wasn't quick enough. He's feeling O'Sullivan bearing down him. Really is. McLaren is trying to use all the track. Gain millisecond by millisecond on that Audi. Up the hill they go.
A little bit of a slip on that uphill road. So it's going to allow O'Sullivan to close that gap just a little bit. He does run it a little bit wide onto the gravel, which will slow him down. So coming through the hairpin, O'Sullivan's still just not got that gap that he needs to be able to really push to make a move. Very interesting racing tonight. I'll tell you that much. We've had some really nice close battles out there on track, and we've still got potentially 17 cars battling it out of 22 we started with, so good turn of events we've had so far.
It's one of those tracks that if you gave another half a metre track width, oh my days, it'd be so much more dramatic, you know, but it is what it is. And McLaren is slowly reeling in that Audi in front of him. The Audi is playing defensive. Matt needs to watch that. McLaren just behind him. Ooh, McLaren doesn't know what to do. He didn't want to let off the accelerator, so had to push himself wide. Either one would have lost him space and time. He chose that option. Back up behind him through Repsol. Nothing quite yet. I was just looking at Grottetto in 13th. You can see he's getting
that time fluctuate quite a lot.
Yeah, he's been getting close, but he's not been able to do anything quite yet. De Carlo in 12th has got the BMW of Grottetto trying to catch him up. They're currently going through Renault down towards Repsol, and not really much to be said.
O'Sullivan does come off the track. Let's see if we can catch it there with a replay. So as they're coming up over the hill, looks like he must have had a little bit of lag there, because it lagged on my end, so just clipping the gravel and unfortunately sending it into the wall. That's not damage that you're wanting towards the last 35 minutes of the race here.
Especially once you've already dipped into the pits once already, you've got to try and weigh up, is it going to be enough to hamper my per lap that I need to go in and actually just get it done and dusted?
Me
Damn
personally,
shame.
I'd probably just try and run it out, see how far it can go.
Oh no, there we go. He's obviously felt it's sufficient to go dive into the pits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can see at the front there, he's taken definitely a bit of damage. That's unfortunately going to drop him down, but I tell you what, may give the likes of Townsend, Fratello, Glamini something to talk about back down there, so see what happens with these guys. Hopefully it's not too much damage, it's something within a 30-second bracket, you know, when it's going to really sting. It's above that mark.
I mean, the advantage that you can have if you really wanted to, depending on obviously how much damage was there, if they're nearly 30-second mark, you may as well just stick some tyres on as well and lower your fuel and just really then go for it and push, see how far you can go.
Well, this is it. This is it. Just watching.
Oh, looks like William does make the move on Repsol on the inside of De Carlo here. De Carlo running a bit wide over the grass, so it's slowing down as they're coming through the hairpin here, and does keep that position over De Carlo, but De Carlo is still hot on his heels. So as we're coming up through the S now, heading up the hill, coming around, it does look like De Carlo. Ooh, he clips the gravel again, really suffering with this gravel here. I mean, the Audi can be a bit wily at times, so I suppose it's understandable. Does look like he does have front end damage as well, though.
It does look like that, doesn't it? You can see there is definitely something there. Don't know if that is hampering his actual aerodynamics or his turning ability. There is, yeah, you can see he looked to drift out wide that corner. I don't know if it's.
Yeah, so they're heading down the start-finish straight. William does have a definite run over him here, and just opens that gap up even further to now 1.2 seconds to DiCarlo.
Not much you can do there, DiCarlo. I think there is definitely some significant. Oh yeah, no, you can see it now on this view. There is definitely some damage to that front end there. I think it's more. It's not going to be structural, but it's definitely going to affect the downforce. So you're going to see it. Where you're going to see it is you can turn it into a corner, but then mid to out of the corner is where he's really going to affect that. He's going to miss that grip.
Yeah, definitely. So jumping up further on the grid here, we do have Baldo chasing down Matt Redfern, not getting a break after having to fend off O'Sullivan.
Indeed. Baldo, the other Porsche, the guy who I thought was teammates with
Carlo.
Hitcham.
Carlo and
yeah. So is it Hitcham? Yeah, that's what was Hitcham. Who's the guy who's decided to randomly go into the pit, even though he was doing really well in the race. Still can't figure that out. Currently in 18th.
There's obviously some sort of issue there, whether it be technical or personal. So,
yeah.
Obviously, he is out of the race here, and it will be a DNF for him. As you said, doing really well though, but since he's not disconnected from the server, I think it could be obviously more of a personal issue. So
yeah,
that is unfortunate. We did see some nice fights and battles coming out from him. But jumping back into the action with Baldo here, chasing down that Audi. Obviously, we know that the Porsche can suffer with the straight line speed, but make up for it what it has in the corners. Keeping it nice and smooth through there, and you can clearly see catching the Audi coming up the hill. But the Audi will start to run away with it and come down this straight here.
I think that's the
I always
problem.
want to call it the middle straight.
You're right. It does feel like a middle straight, doesn't it? It feels like a middle straight.
So as we're coming round the hairpin, both of them hitting that sausage curb on the outside there, but Porsche chasing down, closing that gap now to 0.6 seconds, 0.5, so really making up for it through the corners what he's losing on the straights.
Indeed. 0.5 down to 0.6, yeah. Will that now decrease or increase? It's down to 0.4 on that last New Holland onto the straight here. Now he's going to tuck in behind that Audi and use the slipstream. And you do get slipstream effect in ACC. There is actually one there. It's just not as crazily OP as something like Gran Turismo. And unfortunately, as you can see from that statistic, he's actually dropped down to 0.5 from 0.4. So you're right, that Porsche just unfortunately just does not have the legs on the straights to be able to do anything to the Audi.
No, it's an unfortunate downfall to the car that just really can't make up for the straights, but if you know how to handle it through them corners, as we've seen, you can really push the car far and make up for it. So still on board with this fight here, as it is the closest currently on track. Just noticed Kevin has now got a 33-second gap already.
Only.
Yeah. Only. And then also, Kevin and Carlo has got a 33-second gap to first, but then Nick has got a 37-second gap to second, so it looks like the top two are just running away with it here.
Indeed. It's a pretty sure podium, unless Daniel can get that hammer down and catch back up to that Ferrari of Nicholas. It's pretty much a Aston, BMW, Ferrari podium at the moment. Potentially could be another BMW instead, but we'll see.
the gap does keep on flickering between 1.6 1.8, so I think it will come down to Nick here. If he does make an unfortunate mistake, he will end up obviously letting Dan just catch up to him and possibly run away with it. So Nick really trying to focus, I'm guessing, and just get that hammer down, hot lap mode, as some people call it, and just make sure that he doesn't make any mistakes coming into the last 27 minutes of this race here.
It just Porsche of Borello, Borello. But one else. Sorry, my device has stopped. Baldo, my apologies.
Yeah, so Baldo, really hot on the heels of Matt here as they're coming up the hill now. This Porsche just kissing the back end of the Audi here. And to refresh your race control, just close the app and reopen it and reconnect. And
cheers.
that'll
I got it sorted. So it just happens to do it at just a crucial moment, of course.
It's good software, but it does have its flaws. So
yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate that. I still like it. Flaws it does have.
Ooh,
he's managed to get it.
But Matt does have the inside through this long sweeper here, but the Porsche just gets that power down a little bit early, losing the back end though, but does block Matt from taking the position there.
Matt did have a bit of oomph to go back at him, kiss the back end of him. That's what just sent his back end just a little bit sideways, and Matt backed out again. So all love and fair is in love and war. And you know what? That Porsche's actually made a decent little gap between him and that Audi already.
Yeah, and I think from the performance we've seen from Baldo here, he will be able to extend that gap out through the corners. But knowing Matt, he won't be happy about that, and he will be chasing him back down to keep playing with him. Because Matt will love a good fight. But jumping on with Daniel here, who has caught up with Nick. So this is for a podium position here.
Daniel has been a guy on our radar all night. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's had a lot of conversations.
He has. Not bad either. He's just the action. He's been getting the job done. He's now up into fourth, potentially third. And this was a guy who was, when we first saw him, he was in the bottom of the top 10, wasn't he?
I believe so, yes. He's been up and down the grid quite frequently this evening in Barcelona, and as you say, it's a love-hate track, and you can either do really well or that one slight mistake on a corner and you'll just lose all your time. As was probably happened here, unfortunately, to Nick, and just letting Daniel really get back up behind him.
Daniel definitely got run him now down the start-finish straight. Nothing Nick can do but defend on the inside. I think Daniel might be able to outbrake him on the outside here.
Nick does go for the inside line, but then it does mean Daniel does have the inside for the second part of the corner. Does make the move. Can he make it stick as it comes through Renault now here? Nick running a little bit wide there. Coming down to Repsol. Yep, does look like he has got that move completed.
Nick got a bit feisty there through Repsol, went a bit power slidey, and that is up into third position for Daniel.
So currently as it stands, we've got Kevin Rowlands in first place, we've got Carlo Dorazio. I do apologise, I've butchered that already. And then we have Daniel Sets-Blackie in third, with hefty gaps between them. Let's have a look at our leader here. We've not spoken of him for a while. Nice and smooth around the track in this Aston, but jumping back to the action, it looks like we do have Andrea Northo catching Hayden Sweet here. So what can Hayden do in the Ferrari? A lot of the battles between Ferraris and BMW on this track.
It does seem to be the way, doesn't it? Let's have a look here. So Ferrari BMW, another Ferrari BMW. Hold on a second. Ferrari BMW. Okay, so Hayden under attack from Norfo. That's Andrea Norfo. Not been able to do too much at the moment. Has got 0.2 of a second on him, but again, tight part of the track. Nothing much can be done unless the Ferrari really mucks up. So heads down round towards the Europa car. 90-degree turn towards the chicane. And this is really where the BMW wants to try and keep neat and tidy. Keep up behind the Ferrari and see if you can do anything onto the straight. Nothing really can be done. 0.5 of a second at the moment. All he can do is close down that gap towards turn 1 and 2. What else is going on? The track, realistically, a lot has spread out at this point.
Yeah, obviously in a 2-hour race you are going to get quite a lull sometimes. But I think with how clean this race has been so far, yes, we've had our incidents, but a lot of action has been able to keep quite close here today, and it's been a very exciting race.
It's not been too bad at all. We're doing quite well. We're still with 17 drivers. Initially started out with about 23, I believe. So, unfortunately, DCs and other environmentals have meant people have dropped out to whatever factors they mean. That has left the likes of Kevin Rowlands up in first position. Massive first position, I tell you. Jamminess, isn't he? Absolute jamminess.
Yeah, definitely. He has been just sat enjoying his ride at the beginning and at the front of the pack here, and I must say he did put in some really good fighting at the beginning, but unfortunately just running away with it towards the end here.
Indeed. Right, bear me a second. Sorry, my keyboard and mouse just went funny. Right. So change. So trying to get back on board with Andrea and Hayden here to see what's going on, because it's one of the two fights which are happening here. Seem to have two ebbs and flows, 9th and 10th, and then 5th and 4th. Bear me a second, do have to step away. My apologies.
No worries. I can continue on the action. So, still on board with Andrea here, but Matt has not let go of that 5th position from Moldo in the Porsche, really keeping behind him, making sure he doesn't lose him. And as they're coming down the straight here towards the hairpin, Matt just hoping to close that gap. Looks like he does get that little bit closer, but a bit slow on the exit there, so Aldo does have the advantage and making it round better, but jumping back on with Andrea, who is also still closing that gap to Hayden. Does run that little bit wide, just loses it that little bit as they're coming up the hill. Keeps the speed though, but heading down the hill on this straight, keep it nice and behind the Ferrari. Can Andrea get close enough to make a move? Ooh, does look like the brake a little bit early, but does get the inside line and takes it away from Hayden. Unfortunate there, Hayden run that a little bit wide, and Andrea just making the perfect move as they're coming through the hairpin, but Hayden not letting it go. So as they're coming down into the chicane now, ooh, a little bit of a squiggle coming from the Ferrari there, but keeping it nice and close, making sure that it doesn't lose them. Coming onto the straight, can Hayden get in that slipstream to keep that gap nice and close? Looks like we do also have Craig here chasing down DiCarlo. Craig moving up and down the grid this evening. gets his legs just starting to warm up now as it chases this Audi down the straight, closing the gap nice and tight as they're coming into the first corner. Can he make a move into it though? Looks like he does look for it, puts it on the inside, having to break mid-corner. Oh, just get a bit of a tap there, and DeCarlo does come off the track as they're coming now round Renault. Looks like an unfortunate incident there, but jumping back on with Matt and Baldo. Looks like they're having a fight through this last sector here. Matt taking it off the track that little bit. Baldo keeping it nice and tight coming through the chicane, not wanting to let it go. Lovely fight coming out of here from these two here, keeping it nice and clean as they're heading now down the straight. Porsche does lose out a little bit down here, even with that slipstream. So coming into turn one, Baldo not close enough to make the move that he wants to. Does pull it nice and close up to Matt though, as now heading around Renault. So coming through Repsol. Ooh, does look like the Porsche gets a little bit later on the brakes there, but does manage to keep it. Well, they're really not wanting to give this fight up with only 16 minutes remaining. Currently these two have been playing a leapfrog around the track. Hayden also still not losing Andrea. Still only currently 0.5, 0.6 second gap between them two as well. So coming through the hairpin. Looks like the Porsche can carry that little bit more speed coming out of there. Having to back off just that little bit as we are heading down towards the 90-degree right-hander. Heading through the chicane. Baldo looking to get the speed advantage coming through this corner to keep nice and close.
Hello, Corey. Have I missed much? Sorry, I suffer from old man syndrome, which means I've got a tiny bladder, and I need to get to the loo more than I need to normally.
Me and you both, and especially when I've had like 6 cup of teas today, you know, it doesn't help.
I'm not going to say 6, but I have just cracked open another beer of the fine amber nectar. So that's what's possibly making my bladder weaker than it normally would be.
Yeah, you pop the cork, haven't you? Pop the cork.
Yeah, well, you know, strapping young man that I am. So, not as young as your good self. So there we go.
Yeah, so we've just been on with Baldo and Matt Redfern here.
Oh yeah.
Matt managing to get back in front of Baldo, but Baldo really not giving Matt the freedom he wishes. So still on the defensive, unfortunately, and not being able to put power down to chase down Nick.
Well, it's the last 15 minutes,
Oh,
and the
Baldo
thing is,
drive-through.
Oh no, is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, he has. Oh, he did just cut corner. Well, literally must have just had his wheels over a tiny bit of the corner there that he couldn't have done. But look at him though; he's really up behind that Audi, and you can see at this. Oh, he's had to just dive in.
Yeah, he's taking it now.
He's going to be. Oh, if he doesn't slow down though, he's going to be. Oh, I was about to say that's going to be watching it, because that'll be another drive-through, and that's not what you want. You don't want to then.
It's stop and go 30 for speeding in bits.
Oh God, yeah. That is not what you want, especially towards the end of the race after you've managed to get yourself up and then unfortunately drop down to what is going to be. Yeah, it's going to be about, I think, 7th. It's going to be down to about 9th, don't you think?
I mean, 8th is just past him, I think. And And Andrea is just going to be behind him as he comes out the pits.
Yeah.
Because he has come out into traffic of back markers there, so he will struggle a little bit to get past them, but once he is past, he will have freedom to hopefully chase back up the grid. But with only 12 minutes remaining, I can't see how far he'll be able to get.
No, it's not going to be easy. It's definitely not easy for him, unfortunately. But unfortunately, this is the horses and courses of it all.
Yeah, so currently on board with William here, looking to take the position of a Hayden. A little bit of a bump and rub there as they are
flashes
coming through Repsol. Looks like that is also a front mark. I think that's Carlo coming through.
That's second place. That's who it was. Second place, giving him a "What are you doing? I'm in second. You scum!" No, I did not see. We didn't have to say that, but that's when you're in second. You're like, do not, within the last 10 minutes, knock me or jeopardise my position. That's where I am at the moment. I am not prepared for such shenanigans.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's hard enough that all just sat here talking for 2 hours, so think of the stress and strain that people's bodies are going to be having for driving for the 2 hours. You know, coming towards the last 11 minutes here, and you know, I mean, I've done my fair share of a couple of double stints, and I can't say that my knee or my back is in best condition after them.
Definitely the case. What is going on here? So I'm just trying to see what's going on here. I think this Tomzik just got past.
Yep, so jumping on with the action here, it does look like he is going to try to fight to keep the position now, but Steve blocking him off as he took the position that must have been down the straight there.
Second place. Excuse me. Second place with hiccups, says Darran. Why is my thing not working? I do apologise. I forget that it won't show you particular views unless you take off relative from there. So Carlo De Sanzo getting past through a few back markers to whittle his way through.
So Craig is now on the front of Hayden as well, but there is a 17-second gap there. We've got Robbie, who is a 18-second gap to Stewart for 6th. We've got Matt, who is chasing down Nick for 4th position, 14-second gap there. And Nick has been losing time to Daniel in 3rd position. We've currently got a 6-second gap now. And the gaps between the top 3, well, Kevin is just running away with it. I think he's just sat there twiddling his thumbs at this point.
they are pretty huge at this point. So yeah, I don't think much is going to change with the top 3 with 10 minutes to go. It could be definitely the curse of the commentator that has just been done by myself there. And if it is, you know what? So what? It gives us a bit of something to talk about. We don't care in the box here. We love a bit of action. So let's see what happens. But at the moment, it does seem that Kevin has got this first place, and rightfully so. Has dominated the race so far. Was held up in 3rd position for, I'd say, the first third of the race. And as soon as he got past, he made it his mission to get into 1st and stick in that place, and he has done.
Yeah, so currently on board with Ryan O'Sullivan here, looking to take the position away from the Carlo. Coming into the first corner, they are side by side by the looks of things, and Carlo blocking that inside line. So what can O'Sullivan do? It looks like he could get the position on the straight there to take it through the corners and up through Renault. Alright, a bit trapped in though.
But I think the Porsche, unfortunately, the back marker Porsche, caused possibly more of a burden to De Carlo than he expected, and just made that little manoeuvre a bit more easier for Sullivan, just out round the outside into turn 1.
Yeah, definitely. It does look like my sync-up of the liveries haven't actually worked tonight. So just a heads up, I do apologise if you are watching the stream and you have actually watched this far. Number one, thank you for watching this far, and number two, I do apologise for the liveries not showing up.
Bloody right! Sorry.
I'm just going to leave it on William for 1 second while I nip to the little boys' room as well. So
fair enough. Let me jump on to William while it's there. Ferretto behind Andre Nurfo in 9th position. Both BMWs wants to see what they can do. They have been phenomenal tonight. I give them that. They've been the steady, strong car for me tonight. If I had to say there was a steady, strong car out of all the pack I've seen, the BMW have seen that car. So kudos to those boys. There's a fair few Ferraris around here. Not as strong as I thought they would be, but I'll say that. Look at Nicholas Tappe up in 4th position. He's doing a brilliant job. But our attention is with Will at the moment, who's just trying to keep a nice steady line down through Seat towards, blimey, where's my thing on here? Yeah, down towards Worth. My mouse has just gone, sorry ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Up the hill. Can he close that gap down? No, he hasn't. At the moment, it's still just sticking at about a 0.8 of a second gap between him and Andre as they go round the hairpin. Both keeping it pretty tidy. Everyone got the last 5 minutes here. No one else is going to go in for fuel. No one else is going to go into the pits unless, unfortunately, there is any form of a penalty.
So I am back with the action, and William, well, it's still sat behind that 9th position, looking to get into them single-digit finishes.
He's not managed to progress much further, unfortunately. He's sort of just sat there and twiddled his thumbs for the time being.
So coming into the last 5 minutes of the race now, so we're looking at possibly 3, maybe 4 laps, and can he make his move into that 9th position? It's a two-way street, really. Do you go on the aggressive offense now, or do you give it another lap before you start really pushing it?
I think it's one of those at this point here that I'd say push it, but I'd say ramp it up bit by bit by bit. You've got 5 minutes left. Start putting the heat on this lap. Put it a bit more on next lap. Just go for it on the last lap. You know, this you don't want to push too hard. It's just let's go for it, and then all of a sudden you do something on the penultimate lap and you've just lost several spaces. So I'd say build up and see what you can do. I'm hoping Andre can pull something out. He's closing it down. It's now down to 0.3. So head down towards the hairpin. Oh, nice and tight behind him. Possibly, if he keeps this up, something could be done towards the start-finish straight. Did drop back down from 0.2 to 0.5 after the hairpin, but they've closed that back down to 0.4, 0.5 again. I'll be honest with you, neither of them using the full width of the track. I don't know if it's you noticing this as well.
I've noticed it more with the BMW.
Yeah.
Unless you can't take as much to the curb as a lot of the other cars, but just in general, they seem to be cutting the corners quite tight.
Yeah, they're not flowing as wide or as out as far as, say, the Ferraris or Audis or any of the other cars which seem to be doing this. So yeah, it's interesting. It was something to notice. I didn't know if it was more just those guys driving, and once you get up behind someone, doesn't matter how different your styles are, it's a sort of automatic, you start copying the guy's line who's in front of you. So it could just be that as well.
Yeah, definitely, and obviously you want him to stick in that slipstream as much as possible, but you tend to drift out and think, not stick to your own lines, and as you say, rather take the lines in front of you, just to make sure that you get maximising that draft as much as you can. But they are playing with the 0.2 to 0.5 marker, so it's a very nice tight battle towards the end of the race here that we've got. And as they are coming into the hairpin now, does look like William is looking to take that from Andrea. Oh, does kiss the grass a little bit there, pushes him out that little bit wide as he comes through the corner. Still keeping it nice and tight up to Andrea, though, now coming through the hairpin. Who's going to get the better exit here to allow them to keep it running? Looks like Andrea does pull away from William that little bit as coming up the start-finish straight with potentially only 1 to 2 laps left to go here on the board. So if Williams going to be making a move, he needs to be making it rather soonish, but looks for the inside. Andrea not seeing him, pushing him onto the grass slightly. Oh, still trying to keep it nice and as close as possible, with Hayden Sweet just closing the gap also behind him because of this battle. I mean, that is one thing that tends to happen, you know, when you're battling, the cars behind you are just going to be catching, so...
This is it. Sweet's going to do it. Little bit of an overshoot there by Andre. Andre doing his best here. I have to admit, oh, I knew it was going to happen. That was a bit too... you know what? Oh, I don't know what's happened now. I think something may need to be reviewed there, as Veneto just sort of did a full-on dive into that corner, took out one BMW, then took out the Ferrari as well. It seemed like there was a bit of a didn't really care moment, but he's given the 2 places back now. So, in theory, justice has been served, but damage has also been taken. William down to 11th, and the only person who's come out of all of this brilliantly is the Ferrari driver of Hayden Sweet.
Yeah, definitely. He's gaining 2 positions for free there. All they have to do is just have a little bump and rub, and I've just heard over the radio that the leader is now on the final lap, so 1 lap to go left here on the 2 hour of Barcelona, and Hayden just getting a nice advantage there, so all he needs to do is defend for that 1 lap, and as long as the BMWs don't get too aggressive with it, he's going to run away with 9th position here. I don't think he's going to be too troubled. He's got a good 0.7 of a second gap between him and 3rd place Andrea. So I don't know. I think he's going to be safe there in 9th position. Looking up forward, I can see Stuart. Oh no, Stuart Pryor is not that close to Redfern. He's about half a second away. Yeah, half a second away, coming into coming through the 3rd sector now, so not really going to have the time to make a move unless Matt does make a serious mistake in the last few corners here. That's it. Just on board with the race leader at the moment. Oh no, the race leader is behind them, so they've still got 1 more lap to fight it out. Oh yeah, they do. Oh God. Well, it could definitely happen. Race leader is now coming from the chicane, though, around the last corner through New Holland. So is he going to hug the inside? Is he flashing his lights? He is flashing his lights, taking that checkered flag. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of our race is Kevin Rowlands this evening, followed by Carlo Diozio. He is coming through the last chicane now. Round of applause for that man. Fastest lap from Carlos Zario. There he is, flashing his lights, coming over the line. And then Daniel's we also have Daniel, who is currently halfway around the track. So let's currently just jump back on with Stuart and Matt until Daniel gets a little bit closer to the line to follow him over. Stuart really up behind him now, though, isn't he? Yeah, nice last lap fight here, coming through from these 2 drivers. Up to the hill, around the 90 and wide line, taken there by the Aston.
possibly not the fastest line.
So jumping on with Daniel here as we come across the line to take our third and final podium position of the 2 hours at Barcelona. And there is your top three.
There we have it. What a night.
Yep, so back on board with Stuart and Matt. It doesn't look like Stuart is going to get any position, unfortunately, on Matt towards the end of this race here.
No, that is it. That's him. He's set into 5th and 6th position as they come across the line. And that is it for our finals now. Everyone's got the checkered flag. And what a 2-hour race we've had. There's definitely been some drama. And there's definitely been 1 or 2 shenanigans. Maybe someone may put in some appeals, but it's a one-off, so I don't think so.
Yep, definitely. So running through your order, we have got Kevin Rowland in first, Carlo Diozio in second, Daniel Spetslaki in third. I got it right towards the end there. In fourth, we've got Trapp. In fifth, we have Redfern. Sixth, Pryor. Seventh, Robstra. Eighth, Curatolo. Ninth, we have Sweet. In 10th, we have Townsend. 11th, O'Sullivan. 12th,
Stephen Tomczyk.
Yeah.
Oh, I think some people have.
Sorry, I was looking at race control, and some people have left. So
yeah, so was I.
7th, we have Robstra. 8th, we have Crotello. 9th, Sweet. 10th, Norfo. 11th, Ferretto. 12th, Townsend. 13th, O'Sullivan. 14th, DeCarlo. 15th, Tomasik. Really should know that name since he's in our team. 16th, Galamini. 17th, we have Rayner. 18th, we have Albert. 19th, we have Katina. 20th, we have Irwin, and 23rd, we have Gino, and Spencer Van Hoden. So they will not finish the race. Thank you for the raid, Toga Motorsport. Unfortunately, we are coming toward the end of the stream now. I'm just seeing if we can get an interview with Kevin shortly. So, how was that for you?
I found that a brilliant race. I thought that was epic. It was good. It didn't get too spread out. There was action all the way through it. There was 1 or 2 naughty bits. There was lots and lots of fun bits. It's going to be brilliant. If we can get race winner in the chat, that'd be amazing too. But I had a brilliant night. Thank you for inviting me tonight, Corey.
Well, thank you for joining me. I'll tell you what, it has been an interesting evening. And we've been grateful to have you here. So, I mean, you're more than welcome to come back and work with us again.
Hey, I may grace you with my presence a few more times. Yes, I may do.
So it does look like we are not going to get an interview here, because I have messaged with no reply, I believe. Yes, with no reply, unfortunately. So let's jump towards the end here. So hi there. Sorry the cam hasn't been on the entire time. It's just, you know, it would have been a little bit weird if one cam was on and one cam was not. So we opted for 0 cams this evening.
I don't have a cam.
But thank you very much for watching. Our social links are on screen right now. Please go follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and if you want to be a part of the community, please head over to our Discord. We do also have a website where you can go check out the information on the team and other upcoming events. We are currently within our season 2 of our championship, so if there are any spaces and you wish to join, please go ahead and find us on SimGrid there. We also have an amazing endurance league coming up next year. We have got 9 races over 9 months, and we have potential sponsors in the background hopefully coming on board to sponsor them events.
Indeed.
So thank you very much again for watching. Please like and subscribe if you are watching this on YouTube after. It does help us out. And anything left from you, Darren?
No, just say thank you. If anyone does join us in our racing league, like Corey said, we do have a season on. It's on the Monday nights. Next, this Monday is going to be Brands Hatch. You can come join us. Like you can even see me race around the track and laugh at how appalling I am as well. From me, Corey, I'd like to say a big thank you for inviting me tonight. I did have a brilliant time, and hopefully I'll be back to share the airwaves with you again.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll definitely have you back. So that's a goodbye from me, and thank you for watching this lovely race around Barcelona this evening.
And a goodbye
again,
from me.
please go follow us and join in. And go ahead, Darren.
No, and that was a goodbye from me as well. I mistimed that badly, but good night from me.
We'll get there. He's new, guys. We'll get there.
I'm new. It's not my fault.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. See you later.